I think we're good. So what's up, fam? This is HUD Wednesday nights. The Phillies are in the World Series, and our Eagles are 6-0. The city of winners, well, we won't talk about the Sixers. Come join us.
Let's go! Dit ain't the fuck like oh, this thing he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome in, everybody. This is HUD Wednesday nights, only on HUD Radio. Every Wednesday, we're brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code HUD for 5,000, actually not even 5,000 bonus points anymore. You just get $50 right when you sign up. So go down FanUp, go download FanUp right on the Apple Store. They're the best in the business. Come challenge me in anything. I always accept. As usual, Frank Vespi's got the meatballs, Chrome, Greg Milakovic, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone, and do we have a jam-packed show in store for the family out there? We'll do NFL locks of the week at the end of the show, let you know who's in first, let you know who's in last, and let you know everything in between, and hopefully give you some locks for this week. Eagles, 6-0, baby. Travel to the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday. Right? Did they go to Pittsburgh or is this game at home? It's here. Whatever. I'm so locked in to right here, right now, that like everything else is going unnoticed. I'm so in. It feels so good to be so in. That's what he said. And she, right? It just feels delicious to be all in. But we'll give our Eagles talk. We'll give our predictions and all that. That's going to be our second part of the show. Our main topic at hand, Phillies World Series preview. How good does it feel to say it? It feels so good. It just feels so good when it comes off my lips. Ties into our poll brought to you by Manscaped. You can clean yourself up for her lips. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HUD at Manscaped. See what you guys started before the show? I just want to let you know. All right? See what you started before the show? The little innuendos, right? See what happened? Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HUD at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Our poll question, we've had like a bunch of them, sent through the wire per se prior to the show. And we'll ask the other ones, after the main one, because there were some other good ones. But wanted to really put the hypothetical gun to people's heads. Because obviously, before I even get into the poll question for the geniuses out there, because they want to chime in and say, you need both. We get that. Obviously, to win a World Series, you're going to need both to beat the Houston Astros. But which one's more important? So our poll question, the Phillies pitching is the biggest key to beating the Astros in the World Series. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, download, join the conversation, and answer the poll, right? Tell us where you're tuning in from. How excited are you? Do you believe it now? Has it sunk in yet that we're in the World Series? So many things to digest, right? So come digest it with us. I'm a big pitching guy, right? Like pitching wins, I get it, right? I disagree. Like, I think your pitching needs to be just good enough. You got to hit them. You got to get to them. They've been lights out in the back end of their bullpen. Every bullpen arm has been money for them. You got to disrupt that, in my opinion. You need the big hits. You need the big home runs. You can't have 50 strikeouts like the Yankees had and expect to even win a game in this series. You got to get timely and big hits, because what I feel like that will do is make everything else contagious. I think that will make your pitching staff contagious. I feel like if you're in 0-0, 1-0 games, it's so stressful. It's so stressful for every pitcher that comes in. It's so stressful every at bat because you feel like you're not getting big hits, right? And then it puts pressure on the rest of the team. I think if you're driving baseballs and you're getting big time hits in this series, it makes up for a lot. It can make up for a lot, and it can win you this series. It's the biggest key to win this series. If you get the types of hits that you've gotten this postseason, you got a damn good chance of winning this series. It might go 7, right? But you got a damn good chance. If you think you're winning 1-0 games, I got news for the people. It ain't happening. You ain't winning 2-0, 2-1. You got to hit again. And the biggest key to why we're here is, we pitched extremely well, right? Not saying we haven't, but our hits have been huge. They've been momentum shifters. Anytime we've given up anything in the series that we played in, we got it back. Are you able to do that again? Are you able to be that resilient and have that much redemption as a ball club to be able to continue to be able to make up for your teammates' mistakes or make up for your own mistakes, which we've seen this team do? And it's all came with the bat, right? All the mistakes that have been made up in these series have come with somebody coming up and getting a big-time hit. A big-time hit. They're making up for their own damn mistakes. How often do you say that? And not just like, he gets a single. No, hits a ball that doesn't land, right? Drives in 2. And our early runs have been so important, right? Our early runs. Get on somebody early. So the only way you do that is by hitting. Like, pitching's cool. You obviously got to pitch well, right? But you got to hit. Because I think if you're hitting, my last point is it takes stress away from your starters, from your bullpen, from your team, from your manager's decisions, to everybody in that lineup. It's the most contagious thing in goddamn sports. It's almost like Sixer transition defense. You know what I mean? It's so contagious, except this is contagious in a good way or in a negative way. You don't want to not hit in this series. You do not want to. Their offense is good. It's not great. It's very good. They got like 3 guys that really scare me. Outside of that, it's just they're good players. Make sense? Like, they got a couple scares, big scares, Breggs, Alvarez, right? And Pena worry me, right? But there's other guys that are really good in that lineup. So can you out-hit them?
Ariel Tucker.
Because listen, this I know how they respond because they're winners, but I don't care how much winning you've done. How do you respond to getting punched in the face? And not just, and they responded to Seattle by coming back in that game, right? But that's Seattle too. They're not in the World Series. How do they respond if you come out and hit the cover off the baseball, which nobody really has done consistently to them? Not one game, consistently hit the baseball through a 7-game series or however long it goes, right? If you consistently hit the baseball and you put pressure on them, how do they respond to that? I know how they're going to respond if you want to get in 2-1 games with them. How do they respond if we're talking about we're playing some 7-4 games? Because that's on some uncharted territory for them on how they're built. It just is. Smack some people in the goddamn mouth. Let's go, boys. There's my answer. Pitching's easy, but you got to hit. Got to hit. Let's go.
Ralphie, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I disagree as well. Listen, man, the thing about the Phillies is that the pitching can get you, as we saw these past 2 series in the NLDS and the NLCS, is where, Wheeler and Nola can get you. They can go 6 to 7 innings and, hold them to 1 run or 2 runs. But then you look at the scoreboard and we only have 1 or 2 runs as well. And then the bullpen comes up and, now everybody holds their breath because we know what the bullpen is. One of the worst bullpens in the MLB coming into the postseason. So I think for this series, we just got to match them, man. You score 1 in the inning, we got to match them the next inning. They score 2, we got to score 2. Because at the end of the day, like you said, Tommy, they got some guys in that lineup that scares the piss out of you. At least 3 or 4 guys that literally scare the piss out of you and hold your breath when they come up. Because I'll tell you one guy, Alvarez, that fucking moonshot he hit, and I think it was the ALDS to the second deck or whatever it was. My God. Throw him $300 million. I don't care. Sign him, get him in Phillies pinstripes. But other than that, I think the hitting still needs to happen. And I think the big thing too is is Schwarber. For me, Schwarber needs to get going in this World Series as well. I know he had a great NLCS, but I need him for being the leadoff guy. I need him to get everything start going. I need him to be great this World Series.
I'll finish up the top row, and it's funny, Tom. When we were talking earlier, we were like, "Oh, maybe some people will disagree and agree. It might be split." So far, the top row at least is all in agreement. I think it lies on this offense for a couple different reasons. One, which I'll get to, I think the single most important player of the series for the Phillies is an offensive player. He's a position player, which I'll get to in a second. But let me just read you guys the scores of all of the Phillies victories, and then I'll do the same for the Astros. Because there's a theme here, and I'll just spoil that theme. It's high-scoring games win. You're not going to find very many 1-0 victories, 2-1 victories. So I'll just start with the wild card series against Chrome's Cardinals. There, 1-0, and then obviously 6-3 was the other one. So okay, you could find something there. Then against Atlanta, you had 7-6. You lost 3-0. Then your two other wins were 9-1.
Thank you for changing that, by the way, because if you would have went 0-3, I might have booted you off the show.
Well, no, this freaking website, StatMuse, they have 0-3. So
you should be better than that as a pure baseball guy. It should never come out of your mouth.
I caught it.
Ron Burgundy reading whatever's on the prompter.
I caught it.
Stay in San Diego.
I'm like Aguilar.
Right? Stay in San Diego.
So 3-0. Okay, in the loss, and then 9-1.
3-0. Nothing. I'm just helping the baseball people out. It's nothing. It's not. You know what I mean? Baseball's different. Chrome, right? Chrome. Baseball's a little purist.
Go to the guy who's been eliminated for 3.
Oh no, he's a baseball guy. So go ahead. No, go ahead. All jokes aside, go ahead.
And in the Padres series, you won 2-0. You lost 8-5, and then you won 4-2, 10-6, 4-3. Then in the Houston playoffs, okay, so you look at what they've been doing. They haven't been real shy with the runs either. 8-7, 4-2, 1-0, then 4-2, 3-2, 5-0, 6-5. So you've got to put a ton of points on the board in order to score. That's been our formula. And when I talk about the most important guy for us, in my opinion, it's Nick Cass. I
didn't do it. I didn't do it to you.
What did I say? What did I say now?
Points. I mean, now it's starting to become a struggle.
I told you that it's been a rough day. Did I tell you? Now you're tacking on. You're being divisive in a time of unity. You're being.
I'm so anal with that. It's almost a problem. But go ahead. Go.
I'm going to leave it alone because I'm trying to be united here. I'm going to leave it alone. I think Nick Castellanos is the most important guy for the Phillies. There. Is that good? Did I say it right? Did I say it right there?
I don't know if you said it right or wrong because I probably mess up his name all the time. So that's irrelevant.
Nick Castellanos is the most important Philly, in my opinion, because, listen, if I know anything about Dusty Baker, I don't think they're going to give Bryce Harper anything to hit. At least they shouldn't. I hope they do because good things happen when you pitch to him, as we've seen.
Yeah, my most important guy is JT, just to bounce that right back, right?
Yeah.
Like just because he's in front of Harper there, he's got to get on base so that they can't walk him. Like you almost want him to get a single so they can't just put him on and have two guys on, right? You know what I mean? So you almost got to pray for that. But I'm right with you. I don't throw a strike to Alvarez, who's, in my opinion, arguably the best left-handed hitter in baseball, and I sure as hell ain't throwing a strike to Bryce Harper. So those two guys ain't seeing pitches unless the guys in front of them or behind them hit.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had a bunch of situations where obviously Reese stepped up in big moments. JT's been swinging the bat well as of late. Schwarber, some of his home runs still haven't landed. Stott, even though, I don't think we should ever and would ever put Stott in, we need to see something out of him because he's a rookie. Bohm's had some key moments. Even Gene has made up for his mistakes in the field. Castellanos is a guy where he's just kind of been coasting. He's had some good hits, but it's he's got to be, I want to say, almost as locked in as possible as we've seen him, because he's going to be the guy, because I don't see them pitching to Bryce Harper that much. JT, I don't see them giving them a ton of, right down the middle fastballs. Nick Castellanos has to make sure he's not swinging in the dirt and taking what he needs to, and I think we could be in a good spot if everybody else kind of does what they're doing.
Well, to disagree with it a little bit, not disagree with it, but like in that fact that if you're going to want to pitch around Harper, right, you're going to want to throw JT fastballs. Yeah. Like you're almost going to want to challenge him as much as possible because you don't want to walk him, right? Sure. Not saying you're going to try to throw a cookie, right? But there's a better chance you throwing a cookie because you sort of have to challenge him. And if he hits, then it gets all started. But, you know, Bryson, I actually like Bryson's almost got to be better than Pena. And he can. Like Bryson Stott's almost got to play better than Pena. They're both rookies, you know, and Bryson had a lot of big hits for us and a lot of like tone starters for us throughout the playoffs. Like he's been so good down there for a rookie. And the same thing on the other side. I mean, that kid's been electric. So that's going to be a fun little battle of the shortstops of the young puppies.
And I have to disagree with the idea that a rookie, you can't have an expectation, because if you look over the years, the last 20 years, when you see a lot of rookies, like guys like Wainwright, Justin Verlander, and their rookie years were hugely impactful on their teams. And yeah, they're highly touted prospects.
Andrew Jones was one. Like there's a lot of guys throughout baseball. Baseball is weird like that.
I think those guys are more the key than when you look at a guy like a Bryce Harper, or on the other end, you're talking about the Altuves and Bregmans and Alvarez's. What tends to be the difference maker ends up being those guys you see coming out of, or you don't see coming out of left field, like the David Freeses and those types of guys. I mean, Cole Hamels was for the Phillies was huge, but go back and look at other guys who contributed in the most important moments, the Bruntlets and guys like that. It's the guys you don't expect, the young guys or the aging veteran who comes in a key at bat, the Matt Stairs. So I would disagree in that.
Well, Chrome, that's not what I said, though. I'm saying that I don't have an expectation for him to be the most important guy of the series. That's all I said. I have an expectation for him to do what he's been doing, and that's
right. But you said because he's a rookie. I'm disagreeing with the idea that because somebody's a rookie, you can't put an expectation on them.
No, you can. I just don't. You can. I just don't. He's like probably fifth on my list as far as I need a big at bat.
No, you're not wrong with not putting an expectation on him. What I'll say, like in the middle of both of you two, is that this is when guys have their coming out parties. Yeah. Like in baseball, as a rookie, this like Pena just had his. Okay, Carlos Correa, who? So and Bryson and Stott had moments where, hey, I'm coming out here, right? And that's where
I think he's been super impressive, Bryson Stott. He's had some really key moment at bats throughout this entire playoffs.
That's why I said this series, like this is big for these two. It's almost like a little battle inside a battle of what young shortstop, what rookie shortstop has a better series defensively at the plate, etc. And listen, I got a lot of trust in that kid, and I'm not gonna say I think it's close, but I could see him. Listen, he could lose 2 or 3 baseballs in a series. I mean, Major League Baseball playoffs, World Series are crazy. They're just crazy. Like guys really not come out of nowhere, but you get young guys that are like, wait, didn't expect him to carry us, right? Like, of course not, you know. But then he comes out and it's like, well, he was the biggest reason we won this. Like, baseball's fun like that, you know. And I don't think this is a series where this specific, and that's why Castellanos is a good name, JT. I don't think this is a series where Bryce Harper or Jose Alvarez win a series for the team. I just think guys are going to be, you know, try to do their best to pitch around them. So to the point of to Nick or to JT, those guys are the ones as your stars per se that gotta hit.
Yeah, I'm going to change it up here. I'm going to be the one who does agree to the poll question, and the reasoning is when you look at how these playoffs have played out, right? When you look at Houston their main thing has been pitching extremely well. They've been very inconsistent with the bat. When you look at what the Phillies have done, what's that?
I'm just asking. So wouldn't you want to hit that and change that?
You would, but the difference is those bats can wake up if your pitchers don't do enough, because you need enough. Particularly, I think what makes the Phillies, in my opinion, the favorite in the series, the bats are hitting. It's the fact that in a series, when you have 2 top-of-the-line starters that can go up against anybody in a short series, to me, that's a difference maker for a team who's a wild card team going in, as opposed to a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed going in. That's, to me, what levels the playing field for the Phillies. It's that, and it's the back end of their bullpen. When you look at Alvarez and Sir Anthony, and it's bridging the gap to there. So I think the key is you need to have Nola and you need to have Wheeler go 6-7 innings to not have to see the Eflins and guys of that ilk come in. And you need, obviously you're going to have Thor and those kind of guys who are going to be available if he's not starting any of the games. But I think that's absolutely the key. I feel like the Phillies team, they're going to find hits somewhere, right? You might have a 1-2, a 2-1, a 2-2 game going through. But if I'm counting from what I've seen in these playoffs of a lineup that's going to break through at some point and take advantage of a mistake, I count on the Phillies doing that more. To me, the key for them to be able to go up against Houston is to make sure that those bats do not wake up. And that's going to be your starting pitching going deep into games and getting you into the bullpen. So for me, the pitching is everything here because that to me is the equalizer, if not the catapult to put them above Houston.
I don't disagree with you like that because, at the end of the day, you're going to need both, right? And we talked about that. That's just the common sense of it all, right? And so there's not like if somebody goes pitching, it's not like, oh, you're an idiot. Like it's not that kind of a agree to disagree poll question here, right? So it should be something more split, and this is why I thought it would be a better poll instead of let's conversationally, right? Because it's more like it's definitely a poll that can be split or like 60-40 per se. But so there's no wrong answer, and give your guy that you think is most important offensively, or if you're saying pitching, like Chrome did, who's that guy then? Is it Sir Anthony? Is it Alvarado? Who's the guy?
So I'm gonna say Nola, and only because I feel like Wheeler is just on another level right now. Coming into the playoffs, throughout the entire playoffs, he has not wavered. I'm confident in Nola. However, if I do think that one of those two guys may have the potential to have a rough inning, it's probably Nola. I think he would be the key, and honestly, I think it's going to be the management of the bullpen because if Sir Anthony if we put him in the right spots, I think it's lights out at the end of the game. I always feel like, especially in a NLCS or an LCS or in a World Series, your guy at the back end of that to close a game out in those big moments is so crucial. So anything, I'm going to say Sir Anthony.
Yeah, they have a stud back there as well. So, they have a few.
Absolute beast.
Yeah. Frank, you want to go?
Yeah, sure, I'll go. If you're expecting the entire bottom row to, go the other side, you'll be very disappointed. I disagree with the poll. It's got to be both. We know what this offense can do on its bad days. And this is against a Houston team that's won 106 games in the regular season, undefeated all postseason, and all of it without the help of a garbage can. So,
we brought props.
I actually had the garbage can there, but it's going to be a very tough series, especially if the Phillies can pull off this massive upset. It's got to be both sides of the ball, the pitching, the defense, the offense. It's everything against it's going to be a fun series to watch, but in order for them to pull off that upset, everything has to fall in place for them. It's got to be the bullpen stepping up. It's got to be guys like Ranger and Noah in the back end of games in the back end of our rotation going into games 3 and 4 in Citizens Bank Park. The bullpen can't be blown safe, so we don't want another, Jose Alvarado going 3-0 pitches and then out of nowhere we blow leads. But yeah, I have to disagree with everything.
All right, Greg.
I'm going to disagree. Also, I'm going to say the hitting. And if you look at there's two factors to that, right? So Justin Verlander in his World Series starts is 0-6, but a 5.6 ERA,
BP.
with 9 home runs allowed.
Shut the fuck up.
Anybody go check his numbers, by the way? Anyone go check him?
Let's check it on
No,
stat moves.
he's right for once. He's right for once.
So the key is to get out early, right? Is to get out early. I like Nola going game 1, but our offense has got to drive this. The one thing the Houston Astros have feasted on all postseason, not taking anything away from them. They're a great team, but that 1-0 win was 18 innings, right? Seattle was so desolate they couldn't even score 1 run, right? Seattle jumped up to 6-0, 7-0 lead in game 1 on Verlander, and then they stopped scoring. The one thing the Phillies have done is that not only do they score early or have scored early, they've tacked on, when needed throughout games. And then you look at the Yankees with their 50 strikeouts. Yes, we could strike out a ton as well, but we're going to hit a lot more than what the Yankees have. The Yankees are just atrocious offensively. There's no doubt that they were swept. So the offense is going to have to carry the team, because if there's one thing that good pitching can't do is good hitting beats good pitching. And right now we have a lot of our team hitting well, but we do need a few guys to step up. Tommy, I like the JT. The other interesting thing to think about too is, as of right now, the Astros had not carried a left-handed reliever in their bullpen so far in the playoffs. Obviously, they can look to add one for this one, but if they continue to look for Harper to go back to that 3-hole, and then JT probably moved to the 4-hole, which then pushes the lineup a little different. So now you potentially go back to the regular season where you go Schwarber, Reese, and Harper, versus putting guys in between Harper, so a lefty can't. One lefty has got to face 2 righties if you want him to stay in to face him. So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go hitting. And I'll go Reese Hoskins, since JT and Castellanos were already picked, and I just think I'm hoping he continues to stay hot, continues with the big hits. I mean, he was a monster for us in that division. Hopefully, a couple more hits than just long balls add into the series, so we can go ahead and party on Broad Street.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance we're going to party on Broad Street, and I say that, and then we'll get into our series predictions here a little bit, and some of our other key players in this series. But I think the big thing is, I think you look at two teams, and I'm not going to say that there's pressure on Houston, right? Because they're a good baseball team. They've been here. They've sort of done this, but there's pressure on them to win too. I mean, they've been here a bunch of times, And with us, I think we got over our hurdle, and I think once we got in the postseason, it just was a different ball club. It was more relaxed, right? And they felt like oh my God, I got this monkey off my back a little bit. And you might not think that matters, but calm and confident baseball players are the best baseball players. And you say, what do you mean calm and confident, Tom? You got to have fire. It's a different conversation. I'm talking about the plate. You need to be calm and confident. And on the mound, you need to be calm and confident. Something you teach young players, right? I need a calm, confident baseball player. I can't have an erratic guy. Make sense? And this team has been that, and they've proven that now over 3 air quote series. A 3-gamer, a 5-gamer, and a 7-gamer. And in reality, we beat the hotter team when it comes to the Yankees or San Diego, in my opinion. The Yankees haven't played good baseball since the first 3 months of the year. Let's keep that 100 here too. All right, not taking away from what Houston did. They went in and swept somebody. Houston's loaded. I'll never say they're not loaded. But this is baseball, man. This isn't a guarantee. This isn't a layup line here. So, you're talking about, you get to this point, it's 2 damn good baseball teams. So which one's going to have the big hit? Which guys are going to step up for which team, right? And who's the more calm and confident baseball team? Who has less pressure on them? And you see it. The Braves had less pressure on them last year than Houston did. They just did. Houston's done this. right? So when you constantly go, you're expected to do what? Win. You're expected to win. Vegas is expecting you to win. Listen, I think we upset them here, but I'll say like I did on Sunday, this is got a 7 written all over it. And you're gonna say, you think you're gonna win game 7 there? And I said, most of the World Series have been won on somebody else's turf. That's just facts. That's the numbers. I don't got Google shit. That's the numbers. That's just for me remembering. Most people cut the nets out on somebody else's fucking turf. And I can't wait to be in Houston for game 7 and put another congratulations sign up on your big board because we're beating you game 7 there. Aaron Nola on the bump, right? Not an ace, all this other stuff. And he mows in a game 7 and we win it all. And we're World Series goddamn champions. And we're going to be partying on Broad Street, baby, because nobody expects it. And I love it. I love that nobody out there outside in Philly really thinks that they can win this series. And they can because Sir Anthony and Alvarado, pitching-wise, are the biggest key. You can get to them and they're lights out. We can match your bullpen.
The real quick, when you talk about the expectations of the Astros, because everyone's talking about, justifiably so, how they haven't lost so far this postseason. So I was reading here a second ago that each of the last 4 teams to enter the World Series without a postseason loss failed to actually win it all. It was the 2014 Royals, the 2007 Rockies, the 1990 Athletics, and the 1988 Athletics.
Well, I'll say this. The 88 Athletics and the 90 Athletics were loaded. There's other teams, man, right? They're not Houston. The Athletics team absolutely was like Houston. That's loaded. That's the Bash brothers. That's McGuire. That's McGuire and Canseco and Eckersley in the pen. I mean, they were
with a side of Henderson.
Ricky Henderson was on that side.
So they were loaded like sort of like Houston is in a way. The other ones were mad, but that's great facts though. That's interesting. Like I think it's hard to continue to still like, but they did. But the only devil's advocate is they done it all year. You know what I mean? They just won all year. So can you punch them in the mouth a couple times? I'm sure they'll handle it fine, but it doesn't mean you can't win in 6 or 7.
Well, and to your point as well, Tom, with like when you talk about the paths to getting to this point for both the Phillies and the Astros, and this is not, listen, you got here. Like, we're not playing the schedule game, right? Like, oh, they played a weaker schedule. Like, no, you're in the World Series. You had to play some good teams because they were also playing well. So it's not like it's something, but like it's not to the degree of what I'm sure some people and fan bases of other teams are going to be like, oh my God, you're disrespecting us. No, you're in the playoffs. It's just a context thing. The Padres, when you compare them, you know, who we played and who Houston played, the Yankees, it's not that we hate the Yankees. It's that over the last month or so, the Padres were a better team than the Yankees. They just were. The Padres also, to that point, up until they faced us, they went up against and eliminated the Mets, who won, 101 games this year? Mm-hmm. So they were
100-plus win teams.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers, who that was their daddy for like 15 years, right? And then us, for example, we had to take out the Cardinals where, I mean, Chrome, you would even say that your team wasn't hitting, but that was a very talented and formidable team. It's not like they were the Marlins.
No, I mean, you guys earned that big time.
I mean, come on, the Braves are the defending champions.
And the defending champions before you even got to the Padres.
I mean, that right there says you're for real. Like, even if you don't win the NLCS, that right there says you're for real. You ain't a fluke. Like, you're where you're supposed to be, right? I mean, real quick, this one, and then keep going, guys. But this one right here for Ryan Kerr, completely agree. You take out. I'm not trying to take it out, but you got to take it out when it's a new coach. So you take it out. I'm not a big fan of taking stuff out, but when you do take it out, that it was another coach took over. You were 21 and 29 with Girardi, and what you were with Robbie T is one of the best records in baseball over that stretch. So that tells me that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you don't want to take out September, right? But you look at the overall record, they're legit. So, okay, they didn't play great baseball in September, but they got hot again. They got hot again. They haven't been hot for like a series. They've been hot for a long time now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a sample size to get to a World Series that you've played really good baseball and you've had some electric moments. Like, I think when you look at this team, they think they're going to win this. That's the problem. That's where now everything's thrown out the window because they actually believe that they can beat them. There's a belief now. And when you have a talented roster that now believes, All bets are off in the series. You can't tell me Houston's going to win it, no questions asked. Like, no. Could it happen? Sure, it's baseball. But I think it's a dogfight.
Yeah, it's going until, middle to late next week, regardless. Like, I don't think it's – I would be shocked if it's Astros in 4 or 5, and I would be shocked, obviously, if it's Phillies 4 or 5. I think this is going to – when's Game 6? Next Friday?
Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to at least next Friday.
That's the day after the Eagles are in Houston.
Yep.
So what do you got?
I
got Phillies.
I think a guy to look out for, really. I think a guy to really look out for to have a big series, if he's going to see pitches to hit, is going to be Alec Bohm as well, because for some reason they kept pitching to Bryce, and Schwarber got hot. The Astros are probably the smartest rotation that we've seen the Phillies go up against in this playoff series. So they're going to pick and choose much more selectively of when they're going to pitch to those guys. So I think guys like an Alec Bohm, who's going to be in the middle of that lineup somewhere, surrounded by these guys who have been contributing for years, honestly, on baseball clubs, I think he's going to be a guy who's going to benefit and have a real opportunity. You talk about making a name for yourself on a stage. I think he's a guy you got to look out for, who coming out of this, you might say, he's a guy who around the league outside of Philadelphia, people might be talking about.
Yeah.
I have the Phillies winning in 6.
Yeah, I agree. Phillies in 6 for me as well.
I think the Phillies will take 1 in Houston in the first 2 games, and I believe that they will drop 1 at home, and I think they will close it out in Houston in Game 6.
Okay.
I said Sunday, Phillies in 6, and I'm going to stay there. I've had every series. Every 7 games. Well, last week I had Phillies in 6, and the other day I had Phillies in 5 for the Braves. So I got 6.
I had Phils in 7 for the Padres. Worked out well. It didn't need to go anywhere close to that. I had Phils in 7 against the Astros when we did a show on Sunday. I'll stick right to that.
Oh man, I don't know. Going into predictions, for some weird reason, I have Phillies in 5. I don't know what it is.
Oh my god!
I don't.
For a second, I thought Frank was going to be like the guy who says, "You know what? I hope they win, but I got the Astros in 7." I'm going to be the guy to go out there on a limb.
I thought the wet blanket.
I thought he might come out on a limb.
I thought he was going full wet blanket.
I was going to swerve you.
Well, that's okay to do that. We're professionals if he does that, but
I
he goes the opposite way. I'm surprised we get. For some reason, I think they're going to fucking sweep him. Like that's the other route I would expect him to go.
No sweep.
Phillies in 5. I'll Venmo you $100.
Cool.
Speaking of money.
Yeah, Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralphie.
Ralphie.
Now you won't get it since you brought it up.
No, motherfucker. That's not how it works. That's not how it
Delete the
works.
tape.
Hey, look at it.
delete
My
the
guys
tape.
to hunt you down.
Ralph made
Well worth
copies.
it,
Ralph made copies. Ralph made
Well
copies.
worth it,
on
Ralph.
73.
It's well worth it,
It's on the
Ralph.
internet.
Absolutely.
It's there forever.
Absolutely.
I do not mind being wrong about that. 7, you want to get it done beforehand? Time's yours. Appreciate you.
But yeah,
Just say it.
I think if you take one of those games in Houston, you bring the series to Citizens Bank Park, and they haven't lost at Citizens Bank Park all postseason.
We're doing this
So
again? You think they're
that
sweeping
momentum-
them at home?
Wow.
That's aggressive take.
I just have a weird feeling it's gonna come down to that.
Stand by it, Frank. Go ahead, go for it.
Frank, I think the only way
stand my
you
ground.
get that is they win
It's
2
on
games.
tape.
Stand my ground. Give me Phillies in 5. It's the gut feeling. Winning at Citizens Bank Park. Play that motherfucking song. Let's
Okay,
go.
question. You have them winning game 1 then, the Phillies? Or you got them winning 4 in a row?
Give me game 2 and the rest in Citizens
You
Bank
go
Park.
No shot.
Wait,
I love it, Frank.
I love it.
I'll up my ante. I'll up it. If that happens,
fucking
if
way.
that happens, you're getting Venmo 200 now. If that happens, no shot.
And Ralph's still not getting his money.
Fine.
That's coming from Ralph's pot. That's coming from Ralph's payout. We're double dipping out of there.
All right, it's on tape. So
PJ, it might be the loudest game in MLB history. It definitely might. All right, another question. Who's more important in this series? Bryce Harper or Aaron Nola? I think it's Nola because I don't think Harper's going to get a lot. I just don't think he's going to get a lot. I think he's important, obviously. You know, he's going to make you pay a couple times, I'm sure, because you can't always pitch around him. But, dude, if this guy's got a chance to throw 3 games in this series, when we talk about Aaron Nola, I think it's got to be he's the most important guy. You know, I know we talk about the bats forever, but I get it. But if you're getting 3 starts in a series, you could be the difference maker by yourself just with your arm, because you can guarantee almost your success because you have control over it a little bit, right? Where like Bryce, if he doesn't see pitches, can't really control his success. If that makes sense. Where Aaron sort of can control it. I think Aaron Nola is gigantic in this series, and I think you win it in 7 with him on the mound. It would just solidify the craziest season of all time, where now this guy is beloved and really considered an ace here because he really never gotten the full respect on how good of a pitcher he is, and this would be that time for him. This would be that you're a dude, right? So I'll go Nola is more important than Bryce, which is crazy.
I agree with you, Tom. I'm going to go Nola also, but just when you talk about game 1, right? Nola against Verlander. If you have a situation where I'm not saying Nola outpitches Verlander because Verlander's Justin Verlander, he's amazing. But if you can, go toe to toe with him, right? And Nola goes a strong 7 because we know Topper's going to bring in the other 2 for the 8th and 9th, which is fine. Like it's worked for the most part when they put in the right guys. And they come out of there with like a gritty 2-1 victory in the Nola and Verlander game to start the series, and they win. I'm not saying Houston's sitting back like, what the hell? But I'm saying Houston might be sitting back saying, what the hell? Because like that's their horse. That's their guy. And if you steal that before the Phillies even go wheels up in game 2, you're already sitting there like you stole something. You're saying, oh my God, we're going back to Philly at the very least with a split. And then we've got 3 at home in the building. We haven't lost it. And with we've had our questions about Ranger Suarez at times, but he's really good at home, or at least he has been. And again, like we talked about on Sunday, Ranger Suarez going to game 3 at home, I think is really big. Really big. So if Nola could go toe-to-toe with him in game 1, which I would certainly expect he's going to, that could be gigantic. That could be gigantic. And then also, like you said, Nola, if it goes the distance, he's going to be pitching the most out of any of the starters.
Yeah, and I don't know what to expect. And that's why it's a smart move to swap those 2, by the way, because Wheels is just not like – he's Wheels, but he's not pitch count Wheels. Where, like, he can really go 100 yet. You know what I mean? He's almost like he sort of falls off right now because he just – for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I'm not saying Noel gives you a better chance. I just think they feel like stamina-wise, he's got a better chance to throw 3 than the other guy. But if you're in a game 7 and Noel's on the mound, don't be surprised if that guy would come in for 20. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's all hands on deck type of shit. But all right, so we have Nola. What do you guys say?
Ralphie?
I'm gonna go Nola as well. I think he's a big part right now. Nola's for me, 100%.
Yeah, I'll stay there. I mean, over Harper, it's got to be. I mean, he's gonna have even in one game, he's gonna have the most impact in that one game than Harper might have in a series, and that's not Harper's fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, in the chance that he pitches 2-3 games, absolutely Nola's going to be the key.
I too also go with Nola.
Yeah, I mean, if I went with pitching on the poll question, I have to go with Nola. I mean, for a lot of the reasons you guys said, I think that there's going to be other contributors throughout the lineup, but Nola's going to be setting that tone with the pitch, and even if he was to lose that first game, if they can come out and still set a tone that this pitching is going to go pitch for pitch with this team in a close game, I think that that's going to be an X factor. So, yeah, I think absolutely Nola in this series.
Yes, that's what we've been saying. We don't think he sees anything if they're smart, but it could all change if the guy in front of him gets on a ton. So, I mean, that can all change too, his importance in this series. But when you're talking about a guy that you're running out game one, that's a huge, like we were just talking about, that's a huge steal game. Like, and you say steal, we say steal, well, it's in Houston, right? And Verlander's on the mound. I mean, if you steal that game, like, and Rise in, like, wheels up in game two, a lot of pressure on Houston. Like, I think to win this series, if you want to be crazy, you almost have to go win 2 in a row. You don't have to. I mean, a split's fine, but you got your dogs going too. Like, you almost want to give that punch in the face, right? We talk about the punch in the mouth. I mean, game one's a huge punch in the mouth, right? Because they haven't lost yet this postseason. But if you go take 2 now, right now, you just gave 2 big right hooks to them. You gave a big right and a big left, right? Can they withstand that? I mean, listen, they've been through this, so I'm sure they can, right? But that's how you want to steal something. You want to go slay the dragon. You want to go beat the big bad wolf up. Here's the way you do it.
Here's a question. Agree or disagree to this? The biggest mismatch of the series between the two teams is the pitching situation for game 4. Because right now it would be what? McCullers versus a bullpen game?
Fuck McCullers. So,
yeah, well, it depends. It'll be
It's
Christian
probably going to be Noah.
Christian Javier or McCullers, but yes, I would agree. I think we could hit both of those guys, but yes, they have a guy that has started all year in that position.
They have a person.
Yeah, I like McCullers. Don't get me wrong. I said F McCullers, but that's a guy I feel like I can hit. But
I mean, that's the game I have them losing that game. I have them losing game 1 and game 4 and winning out after that.
That's fine, right? That's fine. I disagree that it's the biggest mismatch for them, because I believe that the guy that we would run out there, if we do it right, can go 5 or 6 if you allow him to do it. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be written down prior. Like, got to go 3. No, right. Dude. Like, I thought it was too much of a quick pull in the Atlanta series, right? Like, what are you doing, dude? The guy gave up 1 run in 3 innings.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you're right.
The 4th. Like, why are you trying to go to your bullpen? Like, so, he's not Thor anymore. All right. But he's still a good pitcher. And there's no reason he can't go toe-to-toe with McCullers. I mean, this ain't the greatest hitting team of all time. They're very, very good. But, like, there's no reason that he can't. If he can keep Atlanta off balance, there's no reason why he can't keep Houston off balance. I mean, they're formidable lineups. Atlanta's lineup might even be better. In reality, they're close. They're close. You know what I mean? But you guys know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I think this whole, like, it's a bullpen game. Well, stop making it a bullpen game. Not you, Ryan. Like,
I completely agree. They traded.
Have to be one.
Yeah. They freaking traded for the guy for the situation. That's like my biggest. Like, listen, we're in the World Series, so like I'm not going to bitch about anything. But like, if I had to, it would be how they handled. I'm not going to call him Thor. Noah Syndergaard, because they've made it harder on themselves. Because like, okay, don't even put Bailey Falter in there. Start with Syndergaard, right? Like, don't like if you want Bailey Falter to go, have him go later. Right now, where he's starting a freaking World Series game, for the first time, or not a World Series game, a playoff game, after not even appearing in any games for like 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you traded for this guy for this reason. Unless he's like an absolute disaster, which he hasn't been, freaking use him. Use him.
And he's a confident guy, too. Like,
yes.
He still believes he's Thor, even though he ain't Thor. So, he still walks and talks like it. Listen, I give the guy a ball in game 4, and I see where my bullpen is at that time of the series, right? But I let the dog roll. I mean, I'm gonna have a short leash with you, obviously. If you give up 2 or 3 runs in 3 innings, you're not going to stay in there. But if you give up 1 in 3, I'm going to definitely roll you out for the 4th. And if you don't give up a run in the 4th, I'm definitely going to roll you out in the 5th. I'm going to see as much as I can get out of you, right? And so I don't think I don't think it's as big of a mismatch as as we've made it as a team. What do you guys say, other guys?
Well, I think Thor too. You know, he's another guy who has World Series experience as well, and I think that goes a long way as well. So, just throwing that in there.
I agree, Chrome.
Great take, Chrome.
Go ahead, Noah. Since you wanted to.
Hey, what's up,
That's
fellas?
kind of what we were waiting for. We're waiting for
like,
the Noah drop in here. I've been waiting for
see
him
you
to
down
jump
there.
in.
Didn't see you over there.
What's going on? Look, I think it's absolutely pivotal that we go down there, and I think honestly, game one. Watch out, Houston! Here we come. First inning, we get up to bat. How about a nice crooked number right off the bat? Just throw a 3 or a 4 spot right up there, and then let Nola take the mound, and he'll just pitch the game of his life.
Storybook.
How about
Yes.
Circle,
how
Jared.
about 7? How about
Mom,
7
meatballs.
scoreless?
Grab the balls, the meatballs. Grab the
Find the meatballs. Where are they?
7 scoreless.
How about 7 scoreless, 10 Ks? We're looking around. All of a sudden, it's 11 o'clock at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're up 4-0. Down in the bullpen, Dominguez is warming up, and Dominguez and Alvarado slam the door, and we win the game 4-0.
You get a game one that starts out like that, and the entire city of Philadelphia is
No,
going to be
we might
playing a
burn it
game
down.
they're going to be playing a game of who's in my mouth. Okay, it's going to get crazy up in this
Tent-
bitch.
yeah, if we win 4-0 in game one, I'll put
I'm
my
gonna find
tent
the
down on
blizzard.
Broad Street right then and there. Okay.
Ralphie, I didn't know what you were going to say for a second. I'm glad you
Oh,
did.
Jesus Christ.
Ralphie might be climbing the poles. They might be greasing him to keep Ralphie off the poles.
I'll cramp up a little bit, but we'll get through it.
Chrome,
All right, we'll get
Chrome,
through
if
it.
that happens, Chrome, if that happens, I have 2 words for you. Video evidence.
I thought you were going to say
And
look
how
out.
about
That too.
Now-
That too.
Yeah.
How
Race
about
for
wheels?
impact.
Wheels will go out there. Game 2, Saturday night. Give me a 3-1 win.
My
So
God.
do you have a Philly
Dash is
sweep?
the- Dash is
Are
the-
you? I was saying, are we getting to a sweep here? What do you got going? Give me
Right.
game. No, give me
a
game 3. Let's hear
3-1
game
win.
3. What do we got? Game 3.
Let's hear game 3. Monday night, Halloween night. Is it a trick or a treat?
Getting a treat. aren't you?
Ranger Suarez goes.
Nope.
Ranger Suarez goes
No
out
comment.
there, gives you 6 solid innings,
We're getting fucking swept.
6 solid innings. All right, nip and tuck game. Harper comes up in the bottom of the 7th. We're down 4-3. Runner on second.
He's not in the game anymore.
It's a long drive deep to center. All of a sudden, we're up 5-4. Bedlam at the bank once again. We take a 3-0 series lead.
Dude, we are getting
Go ahead to
swept.
game 4. All right, Houston's bats finally wake up.
No way.
Okay, so we dropped that one 6-5.
Oh man, I thought we were
You
getting a
dropped the
sweep.
one on my birthday, really?
Honestly, thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God.
happy birthday, Malakovic.
Are we describing
But don't
Frank's
worry.
series here with the 4-1?
I think so.
Don't
Oh, no,
you
mine-
worry, because in
No, Frank had one.
game
Lost
5,
one.
game 5, we wrap it up and win this series 4-1.
Wow.
All hands on deck.
Do we have a
'Cause
score
you
for
don't want
game
it going
5?
back to Houston.
Do we have a score?
Do we
for
have-
that?
Game
we have a score for
5,
game
I guess Nola would get the ball again.
What's the
Yes.
score?
Yes, he will get the ball again.
Game 5, Nola gets the ball again.
And the score is
5-3. Thrilling game. Dominguez slams the door in the bottom of the ninth, and this city's going fucking crazy.
World Series MVP. Noah, World Series MVP.
Larry Boa.
Good, Ralph. That was good. Can we get an MVP?
How
for that?
about, you know what? For all the shit we've given Nola, all right, for his collapses in September and not being able to get it done in clutch situations, Aaron Nola is your World Series MVP.
Wow.
Book it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's
Frank,
right.
did you write all this down?
it's on the tape.
We got a lot of tape to refer back to.
Too much tape to refer. So while Noah did have a Phillies series win in 5, it did not involve a sweep at Citizens Bank Park. Mine did.
That's true.
So,
It's different. You're right.
so
You're
two
right.
totally different Phillies in 5 situations.
Yeah, no
Okay,
shit.
you're
You
right.
have them losing game 1 and winning 4 in a row.
Mhm.
So it's hard for anybody to go down that road.
Can I? Is it
It's-
too late
it's
to
a
change
gut
my
feeling.
prediction that Phillies?
Oh, no,
No.
What?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead, Noah. What were you gonna say?
I really think I think this is going to be a series we're going to remember when we're 85, 90 years old.
Wow.
We're going to remember this forever.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, listen, you're remembering no matter how long it goes. If you win, I mean, it can go 10. You know, I mean, if you win, you know, you're feeling. You're always going to remember. So, listen, lose team. We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Pat Culp, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's not about. It's not about that, Pat Culp.
Well, I think they win game 1, Pat.
So do I.
So
So-
did Noah. Noah had to win game 1. Frank's the only one got losing game
Yeah,
1.
I
I
have
can
a
see us.
spin in
I can see
game
us
1.
losing game 2. I can see us losing game 2. Where we come back and we're like, oh my god, we had a chance to go up 2-0. Like, you know what I mean? Typical, and then we take 2 or 3 at home, right? We're up 3-2, and now we got to go back there. Well, yeah, we'd be up 3-2, so we got to go back there for 1. No, we got to go back there for 2. Sorry.
Yeah, was it 2-3-2, right?
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I have us
They won
winning in
6.
5 because I'll tell you what right now, boys. If this series goes back to Houston for game 6 or 7, we got no shot.
Well, that's a lie.
I disagree with.
That's a lie.
with that.
That's a lie.
Totally.
Now you
We
just
have
lied to a
one
bunch of people.
chance to win this
You're a
series,
liar.
and that's to put them away in 5
You're a liar.
games.
You're a liar, though. You're a liar because the trend of
That's not true.
baseball tells you otherwise. The trend of
Yeah.
baseball tells you otherwise. So you're a liar. Most teams win on the other team's turf. That's been the facts for like 20 years now. So you better keep up. I thought you were the historian here. You don't remember? Now you say no shot, no shot. So if they're good enough to win in 5, they got no shot of winning in 7. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. They got to get it done earlier. No, they're good to win in 5. They better be good enough to win in 7. You're better than that.
When you have a chance to slay the dragon and you got him on the mat, you got to pin him.
Okay, but you think slaying the dragon is easy as 5? When you slay the dragon, it's a dog fight.
Small dragon. That's a small dragon.
You got baby dragon. You know what I mean? Like Game of Thrones with the puppy dragon.
Oh, hey. It's
You're
too soon.
not.
It's too soon to talk about that. It's too soon. Ralph knows some stuff happened.
Thank you, American loyalist. Houston being unable to win at home is why they lost in 2019. Yeah, I think they're pretty good there, though, for the most part. You know, they're good. They're good. According to Noah, you know, they're not that good, but they're good. They're good if he goes back to their place.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Phillies at 5, though. We love that. I think you guys are out of control. I think everybody's out of control right now.
I mean, if you look at the Astros record, their road record and home record is almost identical. There's really not. So if you think they're going to lose on the road, or if you think that they can't win on the road, then you're saying they can't win at home. I mean, they're not really much of a different team. They just win ball games, period. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That they do.
Don't matter where they're playing. Astros or Phillies in 6.
I'm staying Phillies in 6.
Yeah, I'm going.
That's
Phils
what I'm
and-
putting.
Phils and 7.
What games do you have them losing then, Ralph?
I have us winning game 1. We lose game 2. And then we lose game. Give me game 4. Give me game 4.
Okay. So we both have 4. I have them losing game 1. But
What a terrible birthday I'm gonna have.
sorry, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Not commenting on that, Greg. Nope, because I've done that bit too many times, and you know where I'm going to go with it. So, just saying.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm still sticking with Phillies in 5.
Frank's got my birthday done right then. Gonna have to book a flight. Gonna have to book a flight for Thursday.
That wasn't even the question.
What?
It all started with game 4.
Yeah, no, it's the birthday.
No, it all started with agree or disagree question.
I'll tell you what, though.
And half the people didn't answer it.
If his prediction comes true, we'll be on the air next Wednesday night when the Phillies win the World Series.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
What?
know.
In 5?
Game 5 is next Wednesday.
Yeah, no shot.
Could you imagine?
No shot. What? That's a clinching situation, or no shot that you're going to be on the air?
No shot that they're winning in 5.
Oh, okay.
I think that's too hard to do. I think we're asking a little bit too much. You know what I mean? For 5. Like, you want to talk to me about 6, sure, I'll buy into 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
7.
Philadelphia asking for too much? Really?
Yeah, I mean, in reality, I thought 5 was too much even for the Padres series. You know what I mean? And I thought we obviously had that series. I just thought 5 was too much. I thought it went 6.
Well, I guess Harper thought otherwise.
I'm glad he did. Glad
He's
he
not-
got it out when he did, because he might not see another one.
He's not going to get pitched to the same way this series, though. Too good of a pitching staff to continue to pitch to the guy.
Tom, I'm with you though. I'm waiting for the other guys to answer that game 4 question.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
I agreed. I agreed that I think it's probably the biggest mismatch.
Yeah, no, I know, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Anybody else?
I already agreed.
Yeah, I also
Frank?
Oh, even I had us losing game 4.
Yeah. Obviously, Noah agrees because it's the only game he has us losing.
Oh, we know
so.
Noah's take on the entire series.
There
We
you
got
go.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
we had the
we've
whole
got that.
monologue about it.
That's making the
fresh play-by-play of everything.
that's making
Is
the
anybody concerned with how hot this team was with this little bit of a layoff in between games now?
Chrome. I said that Sunday, but Tom did talk me off the ledge a little bit.
It works both ways.
Yeah.
So,
It
but
it gives our bullpen a rest, though.
Yeah.
And
It does.
gives us
Days
That's a
rest for
huge-
the bullpen,
Yeah.
which I'll take that any day of the week going into a
my
World Series.
my only
Well,
slight
that
concern. I think
it lets you line up your pitching staff once again. So
it does, and I think that's good that Major League Baseball does that because with the wild card series, it totally throws pitching staffs off to begin with. So at least going into the big one, you can line it up. I do worry a little bit because I don't think Houston was hitting on all cylinders anyway. So I don't think the layoff for their lineup as much could have much of an effect. I'm a little worried with how some of these guys were hitting, how hot they were, that it could affect some of them. But
the reality is, though, only Harper was really the only hot guy, right? I mean,
Reese was pretty hot.
Hoskins had big at bats, but they were only homers. Like he's got nothing to show for other than homers.
To me, that's a hot streak for him when he's just crushing home runs.
No, I agree. When they're coming in bunches like that, he is hot. But that's all he had, right? You know what I mean? Like again, they were huge for us, but it's not like he goes through that stretch where he's carrying the team, right? Where he's doubles here, singles here.
Gene Segura was hitting.
Yeah, a little bit, but I think Harper was the only hot guy in that lineup. Other guys were hitting, but they weren't white hot, right? You know what I mean? And I think they were getting timely hits. I just think it allows us with our high leverage guys in our bullpen, it allows them a day or two off to refuel their body and get them set up to go every day with an off day, right? You know what I mean? We're going to go 2 off day, 3 off day, right? So you're going to go, if it gets back to Houston, you'd have to think Alvarado or Sir Anthony are going 4 out of those 5 days, if not all 5, depending on how the game goes, right? You know what I mean? And with that second off day, that's where the off day or the lack of the off day in this last series was so huge, because you had to potentially play 5 games in 5 days with no off day.
I want to read you guys this really quick. So MLB.com did an Astros Phillies position by position breakdown where they gave basically who they believe and their entire team believes has the advantage for each position. So Frank, if you can take tally of this, we'll go each one and I'll name you who they believe has the advantage. We'll say if we agree or disagree with it, and then we'll see kind of, where it all tallies up at the end, who has more advantages.
Before we go there, I'm not really worried about the rest. I mean, it can cool your bats down a little bit, I guess. But at this point of the year, like, they've all seen a ton of at-bats. So I don't necessarily think it does too much. But it gives us that slight advantage because we need those bullets in the back end to be as rested as possible, because we don't have as many at our disposal as Houston does. So not that it doesn't help them, it does help them, but it also helps us and gives us a little bit more firepower to play with.
Okay, so to start off here, the first position they say who has the advantage is catcher. And they have the Phillies as advantage catcher.
Agree.
Yep.
I think we would all agree with that. It's JT against Maldonado?
Yeah,
Maldonado. Yeah, I would agree with
that. First base. It is Gurriel against Hoskins, and they have. I didn't even give you that. I just named the people. I'm glad you agree with that's the first baseman of the Astros, Ralphie.
It's got to be Gurriel.
It's Gurriel against Hoskins, and they have advantage Phillies.
I disagree.
Really?
I disagree with that.
I disagree as well.
I disagree with that at all. I think it's absolutely Gurriel.
But unless if they're riding off the hot hand of Reese right now with the big hits, I mean, I could understand why that's the advantage, but Gurriel has been a lot better all year. So
I don't know. Gurriel's year's been kind of up and down. I mean, he's been swinging a little better of late, but he's kind of had a rough year.
Yeah, and they actually noted that in here in their little write-up, Noah. They said that he's faced a serious statistical step back in the regular season, and they're relying on Hoskins hitting 5 home runs and a double so far this postseason. So
I just think the defense matters here. He's
Gurriel's certainly a better defensive.
Even with
a contact guy,
even with a step back offensively, though, Gurriel's numbers throughout the year were much better than Reese's overall.
Sure,
it's close. I mean, this is close. I mean, it really depends on what guy's going to get it, what guy's going to be hot, what guy's not. It's a tough one.
For second base, obviously Gene Segura against Altuve. They go
Now, is it Altuve with a buzzer or no buzzer?
Let's go without the buzzer. Let's
Real
hope
quick
for
though,
the
Gurriel's
Phillies.
batting 367 for the postseason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's lighting it up.
Let's not forget that he's
Yeah.
hitting really well.
this isn't his first time either. So
No.
he's had a lot of good postseasons. So I mean, I got to give the edge to that guy. I'm sorry to Phillies fans. Prove me wrong again, Reese.
So it's Gene Segura against Jose Altuve, and what I will say about so they give the advantage to the Astros. The only thing you can say about Altuve is that he's been kind of quiet so far. That's the only really knock on him.
Yeah,
I'm going Houston.
So am I.
The experience, man.
Mhm.
The experience. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be one of those cases though where I feel like
Segura over Altuve?
Altuve has not looked comfortable at all in the postseason.
no, he has not.
At the plate, and I don't know. There's something about him where he just looks off to me. Where I almost feel like coming into this, I would trust Gene a little bit more at the plate. I would go
Right, who did
Phillies
they
on
pick?
this one.
They went Astros, and to all of your points, I don't know if it's still ongoing. It might have been broken in one of the end Yankees games. Altuve was in the middle of an 0 for 25 streak at the plate. In the
Yeah, worries me. Worries me a little bit.
Yeah, that is usually the guys that end up. They come alive. Whether it's game 1, game 2, they get one big hit and they keep rolling.
Especially this little week break. You know what I'm saying? A little reset type thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not actually like everyone's like, oh, Altuve sucked. I'm like, well, Altuve's a very good player, and he's had a week to kind of like, oh, that's right, he's due. Like, I know everybody says like, oh, if you suck, you're due. Well, Altuve has that pedigree and that history of doing big things in the postseason. Trash can, buzzer, or not. Shortstop. Obviously, it's Pena against Stott. We love Stott, but they went with Pena.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's that's fine. I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
I would go with Pena on
He's
that.
batting
as well.
300. I mean,
Carlos Correa-Hill.
Bryson, and I
Jesus.
love Bryson, but he's had some huge hits and some really big rally starters. But that's also kind of been it, because good at bats or professional at bats don't count to stats as much as we like seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll say this for this series, right? I'm gonna get a little crazy. I'm actually gonna give advantage Phillies here. I gave them an advantage at first. I gave them an advantage at second. I'm good with this decision right here. I think Pena is a freaking pimp. Okay, I think he's a pimp. I think Bryson Stott has a better series. He just had a monster ALCS. Does it continue? Maybe it does. But I think Bryson's like right there. He's right there. He's had big hits. He's had great at bats. He's right there to lose some baseballs. I think he loses a couple in this series. So I'll go just to have fun with it. I'll go Bryson here. Even though Pena, I already said I'm scared of. I already made that clear to start the show. But I'm gonna go Bryson.
I will say this: he's done so much in the later games of the NLCS, where I understand the lefty righty thing. I better not see him be sat for Sosa one of these games, and that's not a shot at Sosa. It's just we've gone past this.
Well,
It would be game 2.
Get used to it because I think it's coming again. So I mean, I don't love it. But Rob lineup wise has seen the pool all the right. Made all the right moves lineup wise. He like any other guy, he's had some mistakes. I feel like pitching and etc. But not too many. But I think that's a big one. I think whatever he decides, you must have to roll with. Even though I don't like Stott not playing, I'm not a fan of it.
Third base, Bohm versus Bregman.
Man, it's not even a conversation.
Yeah.
I love Alec, but that's Bregman all day.
Let's break them.
Power versus power in the left field. It's Schwarber versus Jordan. I gotta.
It's not even close.
I gotta go Jordan. I mean, Jordan's like it's Harper, then it's Jordan as far as best guys in the postseason.
Yeah, it's got to be Jordan.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, Jordan Alvarez is arguably one of the best left-handers in baseball, and has been all year, and has been for a minute here. He's a stud. Now Schwarber's a problem, obviously too, losing baseballs. But Jordan's more of a complete hitter. So, and probably better defensively than Schwarber is. I mean, not that you have a lot of room to play out there anyway, in Houston. But I think I gotta go Jordan here.
You want to know something scary about Jordan? He's only 25.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's stupid.
I knew Jordan had a ton of home runs. I didn't realize he had 37 this season.
Oh yeah, this dude's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Judge
And
didn't
probably-
go almost triple crown, it was Jordan
Yeah.
or
And probably all
Shohei, right?
37 of
Shohei.
them have been bombs.
Yeah.
'Cause it seems like that's all he hits is bombs. God damn.
So advantage, sorry, Schwarbs, advantage Astros once again. Center field, it's what is it, McCormick?
Yeah.
In center field.
Yeah.
And against Brandon Marsh / Vierling, they went with McCormick.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Coin flip.
Yeah.
It's
He's not great, but I mean, as much as I love Marsh, he's ice cold.
He hasn't been able to hit a fastball.
Yeah.
No.
He can't hit a fastball.
But as Tommy kind of alluded to very early in the show, Brandon Marsh is one of those guys that you hang a spinner, he can make an impact on the series, just like he did in the Braves series.
Yep.
Yeah, do they hang any?
Yeah.
Then we have right field. It's Castellanos against Tucker? Kyle Tucker?
Yeah.
And they go Astros once again.
As they should, but
I think it's more of a push than anything, but I agree.
I'll go curveball here. I'll go Nick.
Tucker's actually batting lower than Castellanos. I mean, 214 to 220. Not that that's pulling a lot, but Castellanos is actually batting better than Tucker.
I guess maybe they're going with Tucker because Tucker actually sees pitches.
Yeah, I mean they can go Tucker all they want. I mean Nick's had a better career than Tucker.
Tucker's a better outfielder. But Nick's made every play sent to him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Nick's hurt us out there.
I don't know. I got to keep this a little bit even if we're going 7. So I'll give his advantage Nick there.
I'll tell you what, though. It has to be Nick. Like, it has to be after the series. You know what I'm saying? As far as the matchup, he's got to win that battle. Not just right field against right field. Like, he's got to be awesome. That's my point. DH, I mean, they go with Harper. I don't even know. Who's their DH? What, Mancini?
Yeah, Trey Mancini.
Yo, yeah, Harper. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
And I like Trey Mancini, but that ain't close.
I like Trey too.
Not even close.
And then finally, no, I'm sorry, you've got 2 more. Starting pitching, they go with the Astros.
I mean,
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. Especially earned runs in the postseason. It's close. It ain't as far off as people think it is.
I guess, because you look at it, I guess it's the combination of Verlander, if we're not starts, I don't know the starting game 1, but if we're talking their 2 best, Verlander's just a little bit better than Wheeler, and Wheeler's been awesome, but it's Verlander.
In the postseason, Verlander's got a 6.3 ERA.
Well, because the game 1 is Seattle.
Yeah. But it's not like you can take that out.
No.
The best pitcher left, according ERA wise, is Framber Valdez.
Well, that's their best arm.
And then Wheeler's right there.
That's their
Wheeler's
best
right
arm.
there. And then the next one is McCullers.
And then
ERA
Javier.
again, just going ERA wise.
Mhm.
Is McCullers.
Where's Javier?
And then Nola.
Okay.
So it's 2-2. You're 2-2, and Nola's at a 3-1-2, right? And Nola had a bad start, right? So if you're gonna, kind of chalk up Verlander's to a bad start, you can chalk up Nola's to a bad start too.
Yeah, I think
I'll tell you what's going to be. I tell you what's going to be a lot of fun with these pitching staffs. When you see a guy like Hector Neris take the mound in Philadelphia at some point. That's going to be a lot of fun to see.
Probably close the series out there, most likely.
That would be our luck.
And then relief pitching, they go with the Astros.
Well, I think they have to. But again, if you look at postseason numbers, they're right there with each other. I mean, when you're talking about these stats, I think it's getting a little overblown because when you look at it, we're not going regular season. We're not doing that right now, right? We're just going to strictly talk about what's happened this postseason. Their numbers,
you're not throwing as many arms, right?
Yeah, those numbers are almost identical. So So it's really close. They've been lights out. We've been really good on the back end of our bullpen. Really good. So it's not this far off thing. This is why the rest for our guns is so important. Starting pitching, same thing. These numbers this postseason are so close that it's not even funny. Where this whole edge is gone to Houston, it's not really this big edge. It's a slight advantage, but it's not this like, wow, man, we can't hang with their arms. It's not true. That's not true. We can. We can absolutely hang with their arms because we have some really good pitchers here. And then you factor in Rangers numbers at home, right? I mean, we're right there. We're right there. Game 4 is that questionable game that you don't know about. But the rest of it is so even. And the bullpens are too. They just have more. Make sense?
Yep.
But the numbers are like equal.
I mean, Tommy, that game that Falter started, it only went 1 inning. The bullpen came in and they were lights out for what, 8 and change, right?
Absolutely.
No, to your point, Greg and I were talking about this on Sunday with Sweeps and Tom. There was a lot of heroes in that game, obviously, like Hoskins, with the offense and all that stuff getting back. But 2 of the unsung heroes of those games were actually 2 guys we never would have expected to talk about. It was Connor Brogdon and Bilotti, because Brogdon came in there. The only run he gave up was the one that was more so Bailey Falters because he was already on there when Brogdon came in.
Right.
Brogdon went like 2 1/3 innings, and then Bilotti came in. Like I was screaming at the TV, like, "Oh, bring in Syndergaard, bring in Syndergaard." They got away with it, and Connor Brogdon hadn't pitched well in like 2 months.
Right.
No, his bullpen's been very, very good. So I'm actually going to give advantage. I'm going to get cute. I'm going to give advantage Phillies on both, because this is what they got to do this is part of how you got to slay the dragon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to outdo. If you could do something better than somebody else's strength, that's how you steal shit, right? Like I said, hitting's so important, obviously, to the poll, right? And I give it the edge, right? Because you need the big hits, right? But in reality, like we talk about, both are just as important in different ways. But if you can beat them in their strengths and you can outpitch them, that's how you do it, right? And then you get the big hits. Like if you can do both, that's how you beat a team that's air quote better than you.
Yeah, to your point too, right, Tom? When we go through these and we look at these positional who's better and this and that, it's fair to think the Phillies can win this series or are going to win this series and still say when we're going position by position, the Astros might have an advantage in 7 of the positions. The Astros have been one of the top teams in baseball this year, beginning to end. So advantage-wise on paper, in reality, we should be saying, yes, the Astros have the advantage here and not trying to justify our pick by saying that, because to what you were just saying there, the difference is going to be like with the bullpen. The Astros might have the advantage, but is it very possible with the performance of the Phillies in the playoffs that when it comes time to get on the diamond, is that where they can break through and take the advantage of that? Absolutely. So before the series, yeah, I look at a lot of this. The Astros have the advantage in a lot of positions on the field, but there's also a lot of gaps that may have seemed astronomical if you would have, no pun intended, if you would have talked about this when the playoffs started, as opposed to where you're at today. The bullpen is one of them. The starting rotation is another one of them. With the way that the Phillies have performed, they could absolutely close some of those gaps and take over this series very easily.
Yeah, and this isn't a Cinderella story here. Like, I want to keep telling the people out there, like, this isn't like this Cinderella story. Like, this team nobody thought was any good. Like, it's not the case. If you look at the payroll and you look at the roster, they were projected to be really good. Okay?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think if anything, they were looked at as an underachieving team until Joe got fired.
Yes, exactly. But when Robbie took over, this team lived up to their expectation on what they were supposed to be. So this isn't a bottom 10 market coming in with a small payroll. I mean, this is big boy money, big boy team, big boy lineup, big boy aces to throw at you, right? I mean, it's so in reality, we're an underdog in this series because they're that good. But in reality, deep down, though, we're really not. Like, we're really not. We are, but we're not, right? You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, so, like, I don't have this, like, oh, we can't beat them thing. Like, we're good. And I think we need to start not putting them down because they're damn good, but start saying like, yo, we're a really good baseball team. This isn't like the Miami Marlins snuck in. You know what I mean? Like out of nowhere, they, this low market, small payroll Tampa Bay Rays, who always develop well, but they're playing the big bad. You know what I'm saying? Not that they could, obviously, in a World Series, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's not one of those teams.
Yeah, look, game one, we're sending out a $80 million pitcher. Game two, we're sending out a $150 million pitcher. And oh, by the way, the NLCS hero in Harper, he's $330 million contract. Yeah, I'd say that's big boy money.
I think the only
and for the first 2 months of the season, first 2 months, alluding to Chrome's point, we were the most disappointing team in baseball. Going into the season, we were supposed to be the 105-win dogs. All right? But what can I say? We shit the bed the first 2 months. We finally woke up in June and, we shit-canned Girardi, and we took off from there. And now we're playing like we're supposed to. And to be honest, fellas, yeah, we belong here. It was just a we took a circuitous route to get here. Yeah, but we are here. We belong here. And I think the Phillies are going to come out and punch Houston in the mouth and play like they belong here.
Now let me ask this question, Ryan. Does that list have a managerial advantage?
They do not. I was going to ask you guys.
So let's discuss that. Yeah. So I mean, for me,
hands
down. For me, as somebody that's watched a lot of Dusty Baker's career as a rival on the other side, whether it was with the Cubs or the Reds, I will give Dusty Baker this credit. The situation that he came into, he has overcome a lot of adversity and gotten a lot of these guys to play. They have developed a lot of young talent over the last 2 years on that team to be where they're at. That being said, history remains for Dusty Baker. I think when we're talking pitching in this series, he has always found a way every season to fuck up with a bullpen. He has never been a great bullpen manager, and I think that could come into play in this series, particularly if the Phillies starting pitching does their job and the offense can find the right opportunities. I think that they could end up backing Dusty into making some mistakes as far as who he's bringing in and what situation. So, I think, Rob's been around. Rob, he hasn't been the manager, but he's been around for a lot of clubs that have competed for a lot of big games. And I really feel like the Phillies may have the advantage here as far as the manager position.
Well, let me ask you.
Dusty has done everything in baseball except for this one thing that he's playing for right now. That starts on Friday night.
Yeah,
he hasn't been able to win it.
He hasn't been able.
He's done everything you can imagine as a manager, right?
To me, this is what makes him. If he wins this is what makes him a Hall of Fame manager.
Oh,
that's what he needs to get in because he's not.
If he wins,
he's not there if he doesn't get if he doesn't get a World Series, he's not a Hall of Fame manager.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think it's telling. And I don't know how Houston operates. Right? I don't know if Dusty has full say of what goes on in game, but I do know this here from Dave Dombrowski's mouth that Robbie does. So if I feel like my manager, who's a baseball guy, has say and who's coming in, who's doing what, right? Lineups, etc. Advantage Phillies. I'll always go advantage to a baseball guy having all the say. And that was really telling when Dave Dombrowski said that every decision is Rob Thompson's. That matters. I don't know Houston, so I can't comment on it, but I do sure as hell know Philly.
Real quick, Devlin just triggered me. Devlin, it's the World effing Series. It's the World effing Series.
Eagles in a bit.
Yeah.
Relax.
You haven't been to the playoffs since my sophomore year of high school.
They're playing the Steelers.
He's joking. He's joking.
Don't lead with that, Devlin. You don't come in here with that. You don't come in here with that, Devlin. You don't come in here with
that. We talk about the Philadelphia Fusion.
Listen, this city is on edge, okay, including the panel here. So,
Devlin, we only put that. We put this comment up here because we like you. We could have controlled the narrative and act like you weren't joking. Okay, Devlin, don't come in here like that. I'm sorry.
The super chat said, "What is Trout? What is Trout thinking watching the Phillies go to the World Series?" And the Phillies remind me of St. Louis Blues in 2019. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I don't know what he's thinking.
I don't think he's thinking anything with $400 million.
I should be that
don't know.
Angel center
I
fielder
don't know.
that far in the playoffs.
Listen, he had. I mean, he had a decision.
Money's great. Money's great, but
He had a decision to make, and he chose the loyalty, and because that's just the way he is, right? You know what I mean? Like he chose to stay, and that's just it is what it is at this point. You got the money, you chose to stay. You could have not and tested the free agent market and gone anywhere you wanted to go, but you chose the security of a lifetime, and you can't blame him for that.
We're gonna go back. It's so sad because I know 20 years from now we're gonna go back and look at his career and say,
why did he stay in?
Amazing player in his prime, amazing numbers, but what a waste.
Yep.
What a waste for baseball, for a sport that has a hard enough time marketing its superstars. For him to stay in on that organization,
to stay in Los Angeles, but in the small market of Los Angeles as well too.
Right, it's not even the Dodgers. What a waste!
It's not even the Dodgers.
What a waste for him. What a waste for baseball. It's very sad. I mean, I appreciate it too, the loyalty, and he got paid for that loyalty. Believe me, but it just feels so wasted. Ohtani. I mean, hopefully they move Ohtani at least. Like, get one of those guys out of there.
How's Rendon doing?
Hey, Chrome, let me ask you something.
I forgot about him until earlier. Yeah.
Dear, if the average person saw Mike Trout walking down the street or Shohei Ohtani walking down the street, just the average person, you think they'd know? You think they would know who they are?
Maybe Trout. I don't think anybody would recognize Ohtani.
Trout stands out. When you see him,
does he though? He though?
Ralphie, trust me, he does. He stands out. He. If you're walking down the street, you're like, oh, that guy's something. You know what I'm saying? He's a monster. He's a monster.
And that's sad that I don't think Ohtani would get.
No, you're saying. Hold on. You're saying
LeBron James is walking down the street.
What's the average person though? Does the average person know baseball? Like, that's the question. Like, it's a hard question to answer the average person. Like, does the average person know baseball? Because if the average person has a feel or a clue about baseball, then he's absolutely going to know who Ohtani and Trout are if he saw them. But if it's the average person that's not a sports fan, well, do they really know anybody outside of, like, LeBron in reality?
Well, that's my point.
Or Brady, you know what I mean?
That's my point, because the NFL and NBA, they market their players so well, where Major League Baseball has clearly lagged behind with respect to that.
Like, I feel like Trout, yes, because there was many, many years where they were guzzling Trout in everybody's mouth for years. And I think that people would know him. Ohtani, who's probably might be your biggest star of the sport over the last couple of years. I just don't think they market him very well at all. I don't think. I mean, I know that's a conversation for a different day of when we talk about an international player and how well we market them here in the U.S. But even so, you watch these other sports, watch the NBA and how they market international players. Everybody knows who they are. For some reason, baseball can't figure it out. And again, having him. If he was in a bigger market, and it doesn't even have to be the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Red Sox, he could be on a bigger market for a competing club, and I think he would be a much more recognizable star. I do think Trout, they put a lot of money behind Trout for a lot of years, but even now, he's almost kind of faded away in terms of even being in conversations, and he's still putting up great numbers, but he doesn't get talked about anymore.
It's the typical
because the team stinks.
Well, it's like how much can you market the guy when, again, it's the infamous Los Angeles Angels meme. Mike Trout and Ohtani combined for 3 home runs in the Angels 8-5 loss today.
it's not even that, Ryan, right? When you talk about the West Coast teams, right? People will stay up and watch Dodger games. People will stay up and watch certain teams. So then I factor in the fact that when you have your biggest star on the West Coast playing for one of the worst organizations in baseball, he's only played one playoff game in his entire career. That's a problem because people aren't staying up to watch the Angels. And that's a problem.
Frank, what was the final tally on the position breakdown before we move on?
It was 8-3 in favor of the Astros.
Oh, and MLB.
That's what it should be.
Sure.
Yeah.
MLB.com's official prediction was Astros in 6. For anyone that was wondering. Ralphie, you had.
I did see an interesting study online today, though, that 88% of the country is rooting for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was 5 states. It was Texas, and there was 4 surrounding states that the majority was rooting for Houston, but literally the entire rest. It was 44 out of 50 states are heavily rooting for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, 44 to 6. Yeah, 44 to 6.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to look from the betting odds too. Like, I think what are they minus 185, 190? So $100 only win. You know, if you lose on if the Astros lose, you owe 190 versus the Phillies are what plus 160, right? So like almost from the betting odds, it just makes more sense just because you have to pay so much for the Astros.
Ralphie, real quick before we move on, you sent me a few questions Phillies related. Just give me one. Yeah. Just bring up one of them. Like save the Harper one.
Okay.
The Mount Rushmore thing because I feel like that's almost like an after the series thing. But you had one or two that were really good. So just pick one of them.
This Phillies team has been more exciting to watch than the 08 team.
Oh.
I would say it's more of a role. I would say it's more.
Are you going regular season included?
We're going as a whole. We're going as a whole. We're going as a whole.
No.
It's been more of a roller coaster. I'll give you that.
It's a roller coaster. Yes.
No, there's times where I've questioned why do I watch baseball watching this team.
Right.
Yeah, that 2018 was obviously one of the best in baseball, right? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they won. They were close if they didn't win 100 games that year.
They were close.
That was good times all around, right? And then you had them. You know, you had to get me to the plate, boys. Or was that 2008, 2009? It might have been 2009.
I think that
Ryan
was
Howard.
Yeah, 09.
But they were more.
2018 won 92 games.
92 games, right? So that was.
Yeah, in 08, the Cubs were
6 more.
It felt like they were.
In 08, the Cubs were they were actually the number 1 seed.
They were, yeah. And then it was the Dodgers that
right, the Dodgers knocked off the Cubs, and I believe the Dodgers didn't they sweep the Cubs that series that year?
I'll check real quick.
I remember one of those games. I don't remember which Dodgers player it was.
That or they beat
Broxton still giving up big hits.
Oh my God, remember Broxton? Jesus
Broxton
Christ.
still giving up a bomb to stairs.
Yeah, Dodgers swept the Cubs in 3. They swept them. Yep.
Yeah.
I think when you look at that 08 Phillies team too, right? There was so many other storylines. I mean, Ryan Howard was still crushing baseballs left and right. You look at the Brad Lidge, his resurgence, and how exciting that was to watch. There was a lot more positive and fun storylines to watch.
That ball has landed yet, by the way, from Pull Host.
Oh yeah, off the Lidge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you talk about but if you look at those teams, right, and you look at the bridge to Lidge, right, when you had Romero and Madsen, that team was so locked in. And it was coming off of that 07 where you could see
where they were so
close. How close you were getting to see those difference makers on that team. I mean, that 2008 team, and I'm not even a Phillies fan, was very exciting to watch. Very exciting to watch.
Now, if you're just talking postseason, there's a conversation, right? Because
agreed.
Each one of these teams, 2008 and this one, has had some exciting moments, right? Some monstrous hits. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you want to compare the bomb that Schwarber hit to Matt Stairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, there's so many big monstrous hits. You know, Reese's timely home runs. You know what I mean? As much as I give the guy grief, I mean, he has come up with some big, absolute monster swings for us. So, postseason alone, yeah.
How about Joe Blanton going deep in the World Series?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
How about Jamie Moyer dealing?
Jamie Moyer, yeah.
Going 75 miles per hour.
I want to say he led
68, I think, at one point. I think he threw one pitch that was 68, just whoop.
Yeah.
I want to say my memory serves me right. I want to say that Jamie Moyer led the team in wins as a pitcher that year. I want to say
That
he
team
had more
was just
wins.
as a baseball fan, if you watch that team.
I think so. Either that or postseason, one of the two.
He was,
for some reason, I have in my head like Jamie Moyer at the top of a list as far as win totals for pitchers.
All right, let's see. Win totals. I actually
just like the fact of a dinosaur being at the top
Jamie
of the list.
Moyer led the team in wins that year. He had 16 wins.
Yep.
Cole had 14. Cole Hamels.
Yeah, like, that just stuck in my head where like that just summed up that team.
I was at Seattle that 2006 because I think he was traded after that.
He was.
I was at his last start in Seattle, and by the time I got back from Seattle, he was traded to the Phillies.
Think about this though, right? So let's go with that. Jamie Moyer was 16-7. Cole Hamels was 14-10. Kyle Kendrick was 11-9.
Kyle Kendrick.
Brett Myers was 10-13.
And also got a walk off of CC. Don't forget that.
Oh, huge walk off of CC. That's the game I was at. That's the game I was at.
What'd you
but
say?
like, think about that. Like, think
Look
about
at this
that
bullpen.
pitching staff. Like that
Look at
pitching
this
staff
bullpen.
though versus like what
JC
we have
Romero.
now. Like what we have
Brad
now. Like,
Lidge, Brian Matson, JC Romero, Clay Condrey. Remember him?
Scott Air.
And Chad Durbin.
Chad
Durbin. Oh,
yeah, Scott Air was on that team. Yeah.
Chad fucking Durbin. Wow. Jesus
J Happ was
Christ.
on that. That was J Happ's rookie year.
Yep.
Flash Gordon was on that team.
We could literally just. Oh God, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon's in the dugout, I think, of this current team.
Is he?
I swear I see him in the dugout and in like the celebrations.
Rudy Sienes. I don't remember him.
I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Do you? I don't remember him.
Yeah.
I remember RJ Swindle.
We could literally do a show just naming people.
I know.
Oh, Chris Coast, the Coast Guard.
You remember the guy that appeared in 3 games. You don't remember the guy that appeared in 42 games.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember. I don't even know why. Maybe it was just his last name, RJ Swindle. I don't know.
Swindle, yeah.
Guy with a 7.73 ERA. That's the guy you remember.
Well, maybe I watched. Those 3 games. I happened to watch those 3 games he pitched.
Any last minute things because I know we've got other things to get to, and at this pace we'll be going until 2 a.m.
Yeah, let's
Let's go, Locks.
We're good to go.
No,
We got Eagles, right?
Eagles, yeah. Let's
Eagles
talk about
preview,
it.
then
They play this week. Okay.
They do, yeah.
Well, I think it's a beautiful thing, Ralphie, because they get their own day twice in the next 8 days. They get their own exclusive day.
Now it's Sunday and Thursday for them, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Sunday then Thursday, they get their own little day. So listen, it's the Steelers, right? It's the NFL though. You're coming off of a bye. I believe I read this morning that Lane Johnson's still in the protocol, so that's something to keep an eye on.
As of now, he's still in the protocol.
Who's starting for Pittsburgh this week? Is it Kenny?
Mitchell, I believe.
It's Mitchell.
I would think so.
This might be Mike Tomlin's first year without a winning record.
Yeah, could be.
And for
if somebody like I think it's Mitchell. I would imagine it's Mitchell because wasn't he their most recent quarterback? Because Kenny got hurt and Mitchell.
Kenny played last week against the Dolphins, remember? And he kept on throwing picks.
Ralph, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch the Dolphins Steelers game. I was watching the Phils.
I was basically watching.
I was watching the Phillies. I know, but I just saw the stats. I know he had 3 picks.
I mean, I was only watching Dolphins Steelers just for fantasy reasons to see how George Pickens was doing.
Yeah, I was watching the app. Chrome, you had something?
Yeah, Kenny Pickett, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he has 7 interceptions?
Oh, I know what one of my
through his first 4 games. Who has the rookie record? I heard you saw this on TV today. Who? Oh, 11.
Yeah.
11.
Kenny's playing, by the way.
Oh, it is.
Is he playing?
Doesn't Payne have like the rookie record for most interceptions in a season? Wasn't it like it's like 26, isn't it?
Well, his rookie year he had 11 in his first 4 games. That's crazy. It might have been his rookie year he had that.
Yeah, I think Payne still holds that record for the most interceptions by a rookie quarterback in a year.
Yeah, Ted agrees. So a couple things to keep an eye on, obviously. Would you guys agree your biggest worry as an Eagles fan when you look at the Steelers and what they could do is their wide receiver core? Or would you go with would you go with their pass rush or maybe their secondary? What would you say you're the biggest thing that worries you going into this game?
I would go their secondary. Their secondary just seems to be opportunistic, right? Opportunistic with their, with especially with their takeaways. Minka just finds a way to get the football. Kenny Pickett hasn't shown me enough, or Mitchell Trubisky, or Mason Rudolph. I don't care. They haven't shown me enough as a quarterback to be worried about their wide receivers.
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about their offense either. And one of my coworkers, he's a huge Steelers fan, absolutely cannot stand Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator because apparently Canada's offense very predictable. So,
Jonathan Gannon's defense is also predictable. That works.
Yeah,
there's nothing that scares me about this Steelers team. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick alone, maybe as an individual, but the team overall, nothing.
Yeah, they've got to. Jalen Hurts has to have his worst game of the season for this to be. I'm not going to say close, right? Because we don't really score points in the second half.
Could this be a trap game? We're finally in that trap game territory. Could it be a trap game?
No.
With what? Houston?
No, it's trapping to Houston.
Houston's a trap game.
You think Houston's a trap game?
Well, there's nothing.
No, I'm
the
saying
Steelers can't be because we're not. There's nothing to trap to.
And you're coming off a bye. I don't. Yeah.
And also the Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since 1965. So I'm not buying into that whole trap team narrative.
Is that real, Frank, or is that
that is real? They haven't won since Lyndon Baines Johnson was the president. So
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Like if Avonte Maddox was out and we were banged up in our secondary, I'd be like, oh, Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Claypool. There's going to be an odd man out that kind of because you saw when our secondary's been banged up, mainly with Maddox. I believe it was the Cardinals. They just ate up everything down the middle of the field because you really don't have depth there, especially in the slot and in your safeties. But again, you're in a situation where you were going into a bye week, probably the best case possible because your secondary was a little banged up. Obviously, Lane was. You had some missing pieces of the here and there, but it's kind of a game where it's like if you are anything close to what you've been for the first 6 games, you're going to go in there and win by at least 10, 15 points, you would think.
Yeah, and are the Eagles even playing this weekend? I love the fact that we play on days the Phillies don't. Obviously, and it draws you in, but it's like, the great thing about it is you don't have 2 good teams coming up. So us as fans, it's trappish, right? Because we have Steelers, Texans in between the World Series. Obviously, we're diehard Eagles fans and we're engaged, but you know what I mean? We're almost like layup line. You know what I mean? There's 2, right? So, there's no reason that they should lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's also the NFL and it's freaking crazy. But we are healthy and we are good. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how they lose unless, like you said, Jalen throws a lot of picks or turns the football over a bunch and our defense isn't good or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and they don't have – and T.J. Watt's not playing, correct?
Nope.
Yeah. Oh, he's not – I know they still have Cam Hayward. They have a good defensive line, but –
do they, though?
And
you know
mentioned,
what I mean? Like, do they? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do they? The reason they have 2 wins is probably because they're just well coached, not because like they probably should be winless. I mean, they stink. They stink.
I mean, there's no excuse for Tampa Bay to lose to them, right? You know what I mean? Like,
who are their 2 wins? Tampa and Buffalo? Or no, Cincinnati, not Buffalo.
It was Cincy.
Cincy
it was Cincy in the overtime. Cincinnati, and the only reason it was there because Cincinnati lost their long snapper, and they couldn't kick a field goal in the fourth quarter or overtime.
Yeah, I mean it's weird with the Mike Tomlin team, but this is one of the worst teams in the NFL.
And Ryan, you brought up like the Cardinals being able to expose our lack of depth in the back end, but that's what Kyler Murray, Antonio, Hollywood Brown, AJ Green, Rondale Moore, Zach Ertz, right? That's not what's coming to town, right? Kenny Pickett, and yes, I get their wide receivers can be dynamic, but Kenny Pickett does nothing for me as a quarterback, right? You know what I mean? It's just he's not Kyler Murray by any means, right? So is he going to be able to take advantage of a weakness in someone's secondary? No, I don't think so.
No, the only thing I'm looking at here, and it's funny you bring up Kyler Murray because with Kyler Murray, it's like, oh, he could beat you with his legs. You're going to have to spy him. I'm looking at like a write-up on this game, and that's exactly what they're talking about here. It's like, oh, the one thing you got to worry about is the dynamic legs of Kenny Pickett. It's like,
no, you don't.
No.
Come on now. Like, if we're worrying about the dynamic legs of Kenny Pickett, we're down 20. You know what I'm saying? If like that's a worry to us.
No, it's just the NFL. Just the NFL. That's your only worry because you're the better team. So it's just this league's crazy, right? We watch it every weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the only thing anybody should be worried about. We definitely shouldn't be worried about Pittsburgh or Houston coming up.
And you're going into last thing real quick before we give our scores. You're going against Pittsburgh that has, their offensive line isn't great. Our defensive line, oh hey, by the way, just got stronger somehow. And our defense is up there as far as leading the league in turnovers. And to all of our points, Kenny Pickett can't wait to turn over the football.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom, you want to lead off with the scores?
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm so like in a different environment. You know what I mean? I'm like sitting at a different table. And what I mean by that is like I'm so locked into the World Series, like I don't even have a feel. You know what I mean? Like for a first time in a long time, like it feels weird to say. Like I can't believe we're in football season. You know what I mean? Like I almost feel like it should be 95 out tomorrow. Right? I feel like I'm in June or July, right? Because it's been that long. It's weird. We haven't got a chance on A2D to ever have these two really be meaningful together, which is awesome for all of us. But I don't know. I don't know. Do they roll them? I don't know. We haven't really roll. We don't really roll people. We sort of make everything like a little interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, we have crazy second. No, we're down. What?
The line's 11 and 43. Just to kind of give you where Vegas is at.
28-14, 28-17. I'm like in that area. Like we could go blow them out. We could lose to them. But like I'm in the 28-14 to 17 area. I guess because I have to make I have to pick one or the other. I don't know. I'll go 17.
I'm going 30-16.
And this could change by Sunday as I get a little bit more engaged with it, right? You know what I mean? I think guys know what I mean. Like when the gut gets a little bit more involved. Usually by Wednesday we're good, right? Like this is all we have to talk about, right? But now it's like, well, we've all been taking to the World Series a little bit. So, yeah, listen, we're just better than that. I mean, we should be taking care of business.
I'm going to say 28-13 Birds.
Frank?
31-18 Birds.
I'm going to go 28-10 Birds.
Goodbye, Noah.
Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can be scrappy, right? They can, just because of their head coach. 31-17.
I'm just looking real quick. They put up – okay, so these are the amount of points they put up this season. Let's see here. You have 23 in a win, 14 in a loss, 17 in a loss, 20 in a loss, 3 in a loss, 20 in a win, 10 in a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't score.
No, they can't. They're not any good.
Tom, offensive player of the game?
Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Get a touchdown or two.
Ralph, you go before me. I got to think about this.
Dallas Goedert, 2 touchdowns.
I'll go Miles.
I'm gonna go AJ.
Greg.
I was going to go AJ, so let me see here. I'm going to go Jalen. I think Jalen runs in for 2.
Greg.
Quez Watkins.
Why not?
You're going to do that.
There wasn't much left.
And then defense.
Let me go with my guy again. Let me go with my little Gardner.
GJ?
Yes, sir.
I like it. He's playing really well.
Well, 2 weeks in a row I picked him. He's taking the ball away, so let's hope for a third. Stay hot now.
Give me Bradbury.
Go pick.
Thank you.
Give me, you know what? Give me BG. 2 sacks. BG with 2 sacks.
BG a little upset with the addition of Robert Quinn.
Yep. BJ.
No, I definitely think it's coming out of the secondary here. We're going to see a couple picks thrown this week. Since Ryan took mine, I'll go the other side. I'm going to take big play Slay here for 2 picks.
Go pick.
Frank, going Kayvon? Kayvon?
No, Kayvon. No, thanks. I'm going to go with number 7 himself, Mr. Hassan Reddick.
A couple choices here on the defense. I like it.
Your son is still available, Greg.
Son is still available. But I'm gonna go with the new guy, Robert Quinn. I'm gonna say he gets 2 sacks.
Is he
I wasn't sure if he was going to start.
I don't know if he's not. It'd be typical of me to pick him and not play.
Mulligan.
Right? You know what I mean?
I thought you were going to maybe throw out like a Josh Sweat or something like that.
I was going to say, if you want somebody to be pissed off, it's not Brandon Graham, it's Josh Sweat. He's the one that would be pissed off, I would think.
I thought
He
I
might
read
come
something
out
that
firing this
BG
week.
BG mentioned something that he wasn't the guy he used to be or something like that. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. You're coming off an ACL, bro, or an Achilles. But all right, so to be safe, I'll go TJ Edwards just because Robert. I don't know if he's going to play. I do. If he does play, though, I do think he has an impact.
Frank, can you give us the updated standings?
Let me take a look real quick.
While he's pulling that up,
before you-
one of my group chats threw this stat out there about Robert Quinn. It's really nice. So Robert Quinn has faced 58 double teams this season. Nick Bosa and Micah Parsons are each in the 40s. So imagine what that does for the rest of the defensive line. And it kind of goes into saying, you know, when he was with the Bears, he only has 1.5 sacks. Well, yeah, because it looked like he was double teamed all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and he was
I
the
think
guy
it
on that
frees
team,
him
really.
up, but it also frees up the rest of the D line, I think.
Well, let me say this. This is a home run acquisition. This is what teams that are trying to win a championship do. If you look at the landscape of the NFL, it's wide open. It's more wide open than it's probably ever been on who can win Lombardi, right? And I think this is a go all in move and a great move, and you win up front in this league, guys. And this guy's a tremendous pass rusher. He gets after the quarterback, and it does. And when you do that, it does make everything easier on guys. So it's no doubt about it. This is a no-brainer move. It's a home run move by Howie again, right? And this guy's going to have an impact here. And he's going to sure as hell have an impact if he's healthy come postseason. You can't have enough of those dogs up front. And when you lost Barnett, you had to fill it, and you filled it in a big way.
And what's great about it too is, the next 2 years of his contract are not guaranteed. So if he doesn't produce, you can let him go scot-free. And they picked up $9 million of his, 12 or 13 owed to him this year, which is crazy to me. But I wanted to ask you guys, so, all right, we got, 10 games left for the end of the season. He's got 1 sack now. Does he get to double-digit sacks by the end of the year? Yes. Just a simple yes or no.
Yes.
Quinn?
Yes.
No.
You don't think he gets 9 more between now and the end of the year?
No, I think we'll end up with 7.5, 8.
Okay. I'm going to say yes. I think he's probably going to end up around 11 and a half. Ralphie?
Who for Robert Quinn?
Does he get to double-digit sacks by the end of the year?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think he finishes with 8. But I don't think he gets the double digits.
Which is still a great second half, by the way, after the bye week. But Tom, you said yes, right?
I said yes.
I'll say no. I'll say he gets 9.
Okay.
He gets 8 more here.
No.
You know what? I'm going to say yes. He gets 10 on the nose.
Of course you would.
Okay.
That's why you didn't say 20.
Frank?
I'll say no as well.
Come on now.
And I got the winning percentages ready. So,
all right,
whenever
you're ready, buddy.
Okay.
All right. So, for our locks of the week for this week, so we do have another shakeup going into the standings. So in last place we have one Mr. Milankovic with a 352 at percentage. Followed by Ralph, who had a perfect week, hitting all of his locks.
Let's go.
And going with a 464 win percentage. Followed by me with a 471 win percentage. Followed by Ryan with a 484 win percentage. And your top two, Tom with a 525 and Chrome leading the pack with a 531. So it is super close.
Dogfight.
That's absolutely.
Yep.
All right, let's get it kicked off here. Let's do this quickly so we can get to bed before 1 a.m. The Ravens travel to Tampa Bay tomorrow night. The Buccaneers are 1-point favorites. The over-under set at 45.5.
Such a strange game.
I actually do have a lock on this game. I'm going to take Baltimore with the +1.
Give me the Ravens. No lock.
I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to lock in the under.
Damn you. I'm same as Chrome. Lock in the under.
And the under was set at
45.5.
45.
Tom Brady's only lost 3 games in a row once in his career. And it's been 20 years.
Well, it's about.
However, he's also down. They're down 4 starters across both sides of the football. Give me Tommy. Give me Tommy. It doesn't make any sense. The Ravens should blow them out, but the Ravens also haven't played very well recently themselves. So
I think the Ravens could put up 25 points in this game, and it's still going to go the under. I think Tampa Bay's offense looks anemic right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, not the best secondary in football. They're seeing this weekend. Give me Baltimore. Not as a lock, but give me the over. Actually, I'm gonna go the opposite of those guys, trying to make a difference.
Hey,
I mean, they're Tampa's due to score a little bit, but they got a lot of guys out defensively for Tampa that are good players, which I think hurts them, especially with a guy like Lamar. So I think I got a feeling that Baltimore's going to score a little bit, and then obviously Tampa, because Baltimore's defense is not good in the secondary, that Tampa's going to get score here too. So
Noah, your prediction, please.
I'm starting to wonder if Tampa's going to right the ship this year. I think Tom Brady may be headed for uncharted territory here, and I mean in the wrong direction. Give me the Ravens. I think the Ravens win by double digits, and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in big trouble.
Okay, next game. It is the London game. It is Denver versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville minus 2.5. Over under set at 39.5.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Frank,
Denver
lock
goddamn
me.
sucks.
Frank, lock me in for Jacksonville, please.
Yeah, right. I would love to do that. I can't do that.
I know it's a risk because they. Can I tell you this? They are the worst fourth quarter team I've seen in maybe 10 years.
Who? Which one?
Well, no. The Broncos just stink. They're barely alive by the fourth quarter. The Jaguars have had leads. Forget about in the fourth quarter. They've had leads with like 30 seconds to go and they've screwed it up.
For sure.
They should easily, like woulda, coulda, shoulda. They should easily be 5-2 right now, like easily.
Well, you might be right on that, but when I look at the games with the talent that Baltimore has and the games that they've blown in the fourth quarter this year, I might put them right up there.
But they've at least
Two
played,
very, very bad fourth quarter teams.
But Chrome, the only reason why I don't go Ravens with that is because the Ravens have blown leads to like teams that are actually good.
I get it. Yeah,
Like
I get it.
They've played. I mean, they've blown leads to the Commanders, the Colts. I think the Texans one's in there somewhere.
Us?
Yeah.
Us?
Well, yeah. They blew a 14-point lead in a monsoon in about 3.5 seconds.
Yeah. Just to make a point, they blew one right here too, but we're good. So
is Ride or Die Russ playing, or is it Mark Rippon?
I think it might be Rippon.
I mean, did you guys hear the reports that he's like stretching and doing like high knees on the plane over?
On the plane, yeah.
This guy's the biggest fucking weirdo in professional
so
sports.
weird.
I've never rooted for a guy in the past, and at this point of his career, think he's the biggest fraud of the century. You know what I mean?
Did you hear him talking about it too? Like he was so proud describing his workout regimen on the plane.
You know, Russell Wilson is probably that guy on the plane who claps once the plane lands. He's probably that guy.
Or wears union stuff. One of the two. You know what I mean?
Hey, playoffs,
at least
baby.
I'm not boring when I talk about soccer, so.
Yeah, I haven't heard yet, nor would I listen. Not because it's you, just because of the nature of the sport. But yeah, congratulations to soccer and the union. We'll just make sure we get that out there for the people. We're proud of you.
The most attention everybody's going to get about the soccer. So,
did everybody know?
Where are we at?
Give me Denver.
Oh my god!
And Ryan with Jacksonville.
Give me Jacksonville.
It's Jacksonville minus 2.5. Right.
All right. And you know what? I'm going to take Jacksonville money line. I'm going to add it right in there for me.
You slide her on in.
That sounds amazing.
Slide her in.
Let's ride.
Pittsburgh traveling to Philly. Philly 10.5 point favorites. Over under 43.
Eagles.
I'll lock the Eagles.
Fuck, Greg, knock it off.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Eagles spread.
I'm about to go do something, and you want to get cute.
I'm going to take the Eagles. I want to lock in the.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
I want to lock in the over so bad. I really want to lock this over in so bad, but I'm not going to do it.
I'll tell you what I'll lock in. Kenny Pickett anytime interception, Frank. It's my favorite bet of the year.
Kenny Pickett.
Noah?
Over.
Give me the birds. This is no trap game, especially with Pittsburgh coming up, or excuse me, with Houston coming up the following Thursday.
Back to back. Like somebody got that. A little back to back. Sixers in Toronto.
Yeah. No lock for me. Eagles. Yes. Steelers haven't won since 65. I'm standing by that story. So
we know you are.
Yep, feels good. Greg,
also standing by the goalpost.
Yeah. In between them. Yeah. Greg, did you go?
Goal.
Yeah, I locked it.
And you
Unless
locked
Tommy wants it.
Yes.
I don't want your shit.
Patriots traveling to the Jets. Pats 2.5 point favorites. Over under 40.5.
I don't know how the hell they're favorites anywhere they go.
I don't like it.
Jets.
Give me the Jets and lock that in.
Yeah, I'm not locking anything in this game. To be completely honest with you, because it's a divisional game. but I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah.
I just wonder how they respond to no Brees Hall. I do like Michael Carter. I don't think they love him.
They've
you know,
got Robinson now,
They
too.
did trade for
Yeah,
James Robinson.
but that takes a minute, right? So I got to
Sure.
understand that.
True.
It might take a week. But you know, they do like Michael Carter. I do think he's good enough to get them by. So I mean, give me a Jets no lock though.
I'm going to take Jets money line lock. I starting Mac Jones over Bailey Zappi. Yeah, it was no.
I would lock the Jets, but I'm not picking against the Patriots, who just got embarrassed on primetime, even though I don't like either of their quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I mean, I got no problem going back to their first round pick. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. No, to Frank's point, like they have to go back to him. I mean, one of his interceptions went off the camera wire.
It
Yeah,
did.
did you see that?
Yeah, which is insane.
How
So
crazy is that?
One of them was not even on him. But I mean, I think he's a solid quarterback. I think if he had weapons and a good offensive line, could he get the ball out quickly? But no, I mean, you got to just ride him out. The Patriots do. They can't keep doing this to him either. Like you can't. Bill should be smarter than the 2 quarterback system. Fucking idiot. Go ahead.
By the way, if anyone's wondering where Ralph went, his power went out, and the Lakers are 0-4, so he's struggling right now. He's trying.
Dude, they're so bad. I just watched the fourth quarter. That's the worst basketball team I've ever seen.
Who else had a lock on this game?
I don't fucking know. Let's just keep moving.
The line was what, 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have the lock. The Jets 2.5.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't lock it. Next game, Dolphins traveling to Detroit. Dolphins 3.5-point favorites. Over under set at 51.5.
Lock in Miami plus or at the minus. What is it? 3.5.
Yeah, same for me, Crump. Lock me
Lock in
Miami.
the Dolphins.
That's a weird. Why is it not more?
I don't know. Give me the Dolphins, no lock.
Give me the Detroit Lions money line.
There
Lock
we
it.
go.
Wow.
Love
Okay,
it.
locking that. I like the balls on you on that one.
You're all kind of right. Like, why isn't it more? All right, why isn't it more? Dan Campbell and the GM just got a little bout of confidence from the ownership, so come out and they supply a victory this week. Tua be back like sorry, I don't like Tua's. I'm not Tua guy, so all these comments like, oh, Tua's back, it's easy.
Noah.
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. It's on the road in Detroit, right? So they're the Dolphins got to go to Detroit. You know what? What the hell? Give me the Lions in OT. It'll probably be give me the Lions in an OT victory.
Christ.
And it'll probably be what?
Just want to go to fuck the bed. I mean, what are we doing? Let's go here. You're already in bed. Some of the rest of us like to get in. You know what I mean? Like to get in.
The Cardinals traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota 3.5-point favorites. Over under 49.
Minnesota's the weirdest team in football. I mean, Arizona is probably better now with D-Hop, for sure. It definitely makes their life easier. They finally got that win. They got a win at home. Traveling to Minnesota. I don't know. Give me the Vikings. They're saying this game's even. I don't know. Give me the Vikings. No lock, Frank. I don't know what I'm doing with my locks.
I have a lock on this one. Give me a Just Jeff any touchdown in this game.
Give me Cards plus the 3.5. I think the Vikings win, but I think for some reason it's gonna be a close game.
And that's a lock.
No lock.
Okay.
Sure, let's go. Lock it in.
All right.
I'm going Vikings, no lock. No,
I'm going to go Vikings, and I'm going to lock that one in.
Vikings.
Jesus Christ.
The Cardinals suck. Give me the Vikings.
Well, they don't suck that much when they get that guy back, but yeah.
Greg, I think I'm going to do it different this week. I'm going to join you on the little. I'm going to do a separate 3-player anytime touchdown.
Yeah, I got no problem being number one after the week, so please dabble.
God bless. God
Gobbles.
bless.
No, that's just a little. That's a separate little fun one just to throw out.
I got a big lock coming up later. Big one.
Could it be in this game? Well, we will find out. It's the Bears traveling to the Cowboys. Cowboy is 9.5-point favorites, over under 42.5.
Bears think out loud. I don't give a shit. They won a game in New England. Good, cool story. Don't care. New England's defense, not as good as Cowboys defense. They don't have the speed the Cowboys defense has for Justin Fields. This is 9.5. I think the Cowboys blow them out. I think they roll them. It's not one. It's one of my locks, but it's not the one I was talking about. I think the Cowboys blow them out. Chicago stinks.
I thought this was going to be one of the lock only I was doing. I agree with you, Tom. I'm going Cowboys minus the 9.5.
Hate doing it, but I mean,
every time I bet the Cowboys, anytime I lock the Cowboys, they win, which sucks.
Did the Cowboys just make a move too to bolster their D line?
Oh yeah, somebody from the Raiders, I want to say.
Yeah,
Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, Jonathan Hankins,
He's a good player.
Yeah, lock that in for me, Frank. 9.5.
Cowboys. Yeah, me too, Frank.
Yep.
I'm going Cowboys. No lock though on that.
Could you stay?
Give me Cowboys. No lock.
No. Give me the Bears plus the points. No lock.
I feel great about that Cowboys bet. Noah?
I don't know. I think it's about damn time the Cowboys lose a game they're supposed to win. Give me the Bears in an upset.
Jesus, God.
You knew he was going there, Tom. You know he's not picking
I know his truth. Yeah.
All right.
Come on. I mean, they're due. It happens every fucking year.
Yeah, not against this team, I don't think, no. But I hope you're right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Bears are a fucking dumpster fire. But somehow, some way, in a sloppy game, the Bears find a way.
Yeah, there's a guy doing a Cowboys podcast right now that's like, somehow the Steelers find a way. You know what I mean? There's a guy laying in his bed like Noah saying the same thing.
All right, we've got the Panthers traveling to the Falcons. That's what I think about this game.
We have to do this one.
Yeah, Falcons 4-point favorites, over under 41.
I'm locking in the Falcons.
I do like me some PJ Walker.
Sam Darnold might be back.
Oh Lord, I might.
Cool story.
No, I think he's back. I don't know if he's going to play, but I think he's back.
That's great.
Disrespect to PJ Walker if they dare put him on the field.
Give me the Panthers. These are two bad teams. Give me the Panthers. PJ Walker, Mariota. Give me the Panthers.
Falcons have been cover city all year though.
Until they sell the
except for last week when they lost by 90.
Right, but still, give me Falcons. I'll go by the trend overall. Lock that in.
Yeah, give me the Falcons. Just give me the home team in a shitberg matchup.
Give me the Falcons. I'm not locking anything in this game. Noah?
I'll tell you what, as sad as it may seem, but I mean, with as shitty as the Buccaneers have been, is it really outlandish to think that anybody is out of the NFC South race?
Are we having this conversation right now?
Yeah, the Panthers are out, Noah. They're tanking, Noah.
The Falcons are done. The Falcons are done. I mean, they're done.
Also, because I'm an Eagles fan, the Saints are done. Okay, for my sanity.
Davis still going to win the division somehow.
Yeah. Giselle can play quarterback, and they're winning the division. Noah, can we move on?
All right, give me Atlanta.
Thank you.
And Atlanta's got to win something because they sure as hell didn't win the NLDS.
Here's the beautiful thing, Noah. Here's the beautiful thing. They don't have to win anything. That's the beautiful thing about sports. Anyway, moving on. The Raiders traveling to the Saints. The Raiders are 1.5-point favorites, over under set at 49.5.
Give me the Raiders, Frank. Lock her in.
Yeah, give me the Raiders as well.
Is Michael Thomas supposed to be back? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Raiders.
It's too late to give a shit.
You know what? I'll get nuts here. Let's get nuts. Give me the under lock, Frank.
All right.
Andy Dalton and Derek Carr combined 50 points. Nah,
They're going to put up 59 points this game because you locked that in.
that's fine because I'm happy for Raiders fans. They don't have much right now. Yeah, lock me the under then. Noah, what's your spin on this game?
Give me the Raiders.
Thank you so much. The Titans are traveling to Houston. Titans -2, over under 40.5.
Titans.
Titans.
Remember the Titans.
I'll lock the Titans, Frank.
Titans
-2, lock.
-2.
Yeah, I'll go Titans. No luck. Giants traveling to the Seahawks. Seahawks -3, over under 45.5.
Yeah, this comes to an end. I'm sick and tired of this shit.
I do.
You know what I mean? I'm so this isn't it either. This is a lot coming, but this isn't the one I'm telling you guys about. That's coming.
I know which one it is.
This has to come to an end. You know what I mean? This little cute run, cool story. When is Daniel Jones ever going to turn the football over again? I don't know. Great coaching job, Brian Dable. Lock me in the Seahawks, Frank.
I'll take the Seahawks, no lock.
I'm going to take the Giants spread with the lock.
Oh, Frank's going G-Man.
Good to have you.
I mean, it worked last week, so the way that they've been playing, I mean, I don't know. Do I want to continue riding that hot hand? Let's ride that hot hand.
You're riding it, buddy.
Let's ride.
I'll take the Giants. Or I'll take
Nation.
the Seahawks in this game,
Let's
rather.
ride.
Frank,
I
Giants.
mean, hell, correct me if I'm wrong, but going into this year, didn't everybody project the Giants and the Seahawks to be battling for a top pick in the draft or at least top 5?
Yes.
Yeah, I had Seahawks with 3 wins. I had the Giants with 6 wins. I think they already have more combined.
Both teams would have been terrible. And what was the lock again, Ryan?
Jesus Christ, they both might make the playoffs. Yeah, it's gonna be a good game, but give me the home team. Give me the Seahawks.
All right, couple more, or 4 more to be exact. The Commanders traveling to the Colts with Sam Ellinger as quarterback. So it's Heineke versus Ellinger, to mark that on your calendars.
Yeah.
Colts 2.5-point favorites, over under 39.5.
Tommy, is this your big game?
No.
I thought this was.
Oh wait, the Giants lock wasn't your big lock?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
The Seahawks game. The Seahawks now.
Give me the Commanders +3.
Same.
Lock. They win outright.
I'll take Washington in this game. No lock.
I'm going Washington, no lock. By the way, Tom, I figured out what yours is going to be, and I agree with you.
I don't know if you
Washington,
did.
no lock as well.
I did. Noah.
Give me Indy.
All right. The 49ers traveling to the Rams. 49ers are 1.5-point favorites, over under 43.
Rams home dog. Give me the Rams.
Rams, no lock.
Rams are getting their starting center back, which is huge. Their offensive line has been atrocious. They're getting starting center back. They've had 4. I found out today they've had 4 centers throughout the first part of this year. Obviously, they've been atrocious, right? Get their center back. Rams plus the 1.5.
Is Van Jefferson back this week as well?
And Van Jefferson's back.
Frank, lock me in on the Rams.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
I knew
They're coming off a bye, and I know Shanahan and the Niners usually hold it, but they're coming off a bye. They're getting healthy. I'm with
I
you.
fucking hate Kyle Shanahan. All right. I think he's the biggest loser in sports. All right. Loser. Can't wait for them to be like 3-7.
Noah. No.
Give me the Rams.
All right, 2 more games. Frank, did you go? I'm sorry. Did you go?
Give me the Rams.
I feel like another lock Tom's going to do too.
So do I. And
I
it's
think
this
I know
game.
what it is.
It's this game. The Packers travel to Buffalo. Buffalo -11, over under 47.5. Tom, the floor is yours.
Well, I mean, if they want to be a playoff team, I mean, it's up to them. I mean, are you guys a playoff team? What are you? What are the Green Bay Packers? Okay, so I mean, you got your demands, Aaron, in terms of your money. You got a lot to say about everybody else. What team shows up on Sunday Night Football? I gotta believe they cover that football game. If they got any little freaking fight in them, right? They're in desperation mode. Bills not really in desperation mode. They're just awesome. You know what I mean? They're just awesome. They're not in any desperation. Their quarterback's elite. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be elite at all this year? No, maybe. Hey, bright lights of Sunday Night Football. I mean, if there's a time for him to and the Packers to take a turn to be considered good, just be good, right? Be a playoff team. Forget anything else past that. But it's a team that's been in how many NFC title games? Right? There's sort of like a standard of them winning, and especially with him there. Not championships, right? But win a lot of football games. So it's make or break. I would expect their best fight Sunday night if they have one. So lock me in on the Packers, Frank. 11, getting 11.
I said before the year I thought the Packers were a 7-win football team. The Packers are dead. There's a lot of points. Buffalo, lock.
No, it's too many. Yeah, it's too many. It's a lot of points. Not that it's too many for Buffalo, but Green Bay isn't Pittsburgh going to Buffalo, in my opinion, or Steelers going to Buffalo. I mean, like when they went there and got their doors blown off.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to still be a good football team. Not a lot of weapons on the outside per se, but they got the running backs. They supposedly have the offensive line. They had the defense. A lot of underachievement going on there.
Lazard's not bad either. Lazard is he's somebody for him.
He's the only one that can catch a pass. He's the only one there that can catch a pass. Yep. Aaron Jones can't even catch anymore.
Just 11's a lot for me. Like 11's a lot.
It's an aggressive. It's aggressive.
I think Von Miller is going to feast in this game. I
can't get that out of my head.
I got Buffalo.
Von Miller.
He might have 4. He might have 4 sacks by the end of this game.
Yeah.
I got Buffalo all day.
Packers plus the points. I think anything under 10, I'd probably take the Bills. But once you cross 10, you can still get blown out and lose by 10 points.
Yeah.
Well, you get garbage time points too.
I'm going to take the under on this one. That's going to be my lock.
Does anyone know what the line? It's probably not out yet. The line on the over under for Von Miller sacks. Because I'm thinking about going with the over as another lock as my
Let me
favorite.
see.
Noah.
So the props.
A lot of those props aren't done till game day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that one.
Frank, I'll let you know on that once that's out.
All right. It is on tape.
In this wacky NFL season, give me the Packers in a big upset outright.
I feel awesome about my pick right now.
I feel great about 11. So I didn't come out here talking outright. I just think they compete. I think they compete. Like Greg said, you could be down 17, score a touchdown late, you lose by 10.
I think it's now or never for Green Bay, and if they have any hope of having any sort of competitive season, they need to win this week. I think they somehow find a way to pull the upset.
Final game. The Bengals go to the Browns. Bengals 3.5-point favorites. Over under set at 46.5.
Frank, how many locks do I have real quick?
You have 5.
Okay. Just give me the Browns plus the points, please. No lock.
Bengals, no lock.
Give me the Bungles.
Browns defense is a lot better than
I'll take the
than
Bengals
Falcons.
as well.
Browns no lock.
Bengals.
All right, we got them all out.
That concludes.
Yeah, and then I just got my real quick touchdown parlay.
Up.
I got mine
Greg's
as well.
very
I forget.
special parlay.
I got mine as well here, Greg. I'm joining you on this week.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Give me D Hop. Didn't get in the end zone last week. Give me Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, and scary Terry McLaurin.
Nice. So I got a 4 spot too. I'm with you on Derrick Henry because he is feasted on the Texans. Give me Dalvin Cook. I'm going for a 2-4 in the Miami game. I'm going Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Ooh.
All right.
Well,
let's go.
listen. Yeah, but it's time to go to bed, and everybody enjoy the World Series Friday night. Let's freaking go. Eagles Sunday. It's gonna be a great week. Maybe the Sixers makes a win or two in, and we're all sort of back in the right spot. So we're feeling good about it.
Maybe we're celebrating your World Series next week, Game 5.
Yeah, that'd be great. Man, sign me up. All right, we appreciate you all listening. We love you. Give you a brand new sponsor, Reed, especially if you're in the area. All right, Baggio's Bread. Mention HUD Radio for 10% off your next in-store purchase of all your favorite Italian specialties. Baggio's in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, is your one-stop shop for the best of the stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, meatballs, and more.
Oh, circle back to the meatballs.
Back to the meatballs. Mention HUD Radio, Baggio's Bread. You get 10% off your order. Located Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Go check them out. They're the best. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D, and you get $50 right in sign up. It's a no-brainer. Use the promo code. FanUp, download them right on the Apple Store. For Chrome, Greg, Noah, Frank, Ryan, Ralphie, not here with us.
Wick, thank you for the super chat, brother.
Thank you, Wick.
Oh, real quick too. Happy birthday to my dad. Say a prayer for him. He's got a big surgery too on Friday. It's his birthday, 73 today. Happy birthday, Pops. Everybody's got you in their thoughts.
Happy birthday, Chrome Pops. And we're praying for you.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Papa Chrome.
Go Birds, Wick. We love you. Go Birds. Go Phillies. Sixers mix in a win or two. And Union, kick it around. We're out of here.